Chapter 201. The head Hong on the other side of the tactical communications watch went silent for a moment before he couldn't help but ask, "You said Liao was killed by Luo Feng?" "Yes, dojo master." Luo was also very confused. Even though Luo Feng can control 16 hidden weapons, no matter how powerful he is, a spirit reader at the peak of the advanced level war god level that can rival a representative level fighter is one thing. "You want to kill me? Dream on." If he hadn't seen it with his own eyes, Luo wouldn't have believed it either. "Head, I'm sure I saw it." Luo Feng controlled the soaring shuttle to instantly turn into a golden light and shot towards Liao, said Luha. "Soaring shuttle? Golden light?" On the other side of the tactical communications watch, Hong went silent for a bit and then ordered, "Luha, immediately bring Luo Feng back to headquarters, yes." Luha replied, "Also, your auto jet should have recorded the battle scene, right? Send me a copy," Hong ordered. "Yes," Luha answered. Next to Luha, the investigator of the Thunder Dojo, Amuhan, had just finished reporting to Thunder God. Luha and Amuhan exchanged glances and turned their heads towards Luo Feng, who was in midair. The hatch was already open. "Liao's been killed by me." Luo Feng gazed at the endless sky, his heart filled with complex emotions. Ever since he finished the first stage of the soaring shuttle's first form, Luo Feng didn't care about regular Star Traveler Level 1 stage fighters. Even though that Liao broke through, Liao, who doesn't even have a Black God set, Luo Feng has full confidence in killing him. But at the moment when he was about to kill, Luo Feng's emotions were complicated. Liao had been holding a grudge against him for a long time. When he was still a fledgling martial artist, Liao was like a mountain in front of him, causing him to feel panic. Step by step, as he grew stronger, the threat of Liao gradually decreased. And this time, because of what happened to his parents, he had to kill Liao out of anger. Only then did it die. "Luo Feng, what are you thinking about? Huh? Do you feel a sense of accomplishment after killing Liao in one go?" Luha shouted from the hatch of the auto jet in the distance. "Coming." Luo Feng smiled and stepped on the soaring shuttle and flew over. After entering the cabin door closed. "Return to the headquarters," Luha ordered. The auto jet immediately turned around and flew away. In the cabin, Luo Feng could feel that Luha and Amuhan were looking at him differently. He couldn't help but to laugh. "Luha, why are you guys looking at me like that?" "Impressive, impressive. You can actually kill a representative level fighter." Luha stared at Luo Feng. "I admire you." Amuhan spoke in awkward Chinese and even gave him a thumbs up. "It's nothing. It's just that Liao doesn't have a Black God set. If he did, it would be very difficult for me to kill him." Luo Feng slightly smiled. Luha and Amuhan were both shocked. How many existences surpassing the war god level are there on Earth? None of the other counselors on Earth had any record of killing a counselor. After killing a representative, Luo Feng was actually this calm? Of course, Luha and Amuhan were shocked by Luo Feng's mentality. Kill a Star Traveler Level 1 stage? Luo Feng shook his head. On Earth, this was an incredible achievement. However, after experiencing archaeological ruin number 9, Luo Feng was very clear that a Star Traveler level fighter can only be considered to be at the level of barely making ends meet in the vast universe. Killing a Star Traveler Level 1 stage isn't something to be proud of after receiving Yun Mo Planet's inheritance. After a while, the universe-level auto jet slowly landed on the tarmac. Luo Feng, Luha, and Amuhan, the three representatives, entered the gigantic spaceship-like structure. "The other representatives are all in the banquet hall," smiled Luha. "Let's go this way." Under Luhi's lead, Luo Feng and the other two quickly arrived at the banquet hall. The banquet hall's door was completely dark red. There were two attendants standing on both sides of the door that was 6 meters tall with exquisite engravings. The two attendants slightly bowed. "Representatives, please enter," as they said that. They pushed open the heavy door. The door slowly opened, and the sounds of discussion immediately spread out. Luo Feng, Luha, and Amuhan directly walked in. especially when Luo Feng, who was wearing a black casual outfit, walked into the banquet hall. All the existences surpassing the war god level in the banquet hall, whoosh. Everyone turned their heads, and their gazes landed on Luo Feng. Luo Feng was slightly shocked. Over 30-star traveler-level fighters were staring at him. Luo Feng, Vladimir, Wang Yu, and the other investigator from the Dojo of Limits all smiled as they greeted him. As for the other representatives, they were all discussing in low voices. However, most of them formed a barrier around them so that their voices wouldn't spread. Clearly, the things they were discussing weren't suitable to be made public. That Luo Feng has to step on his weapon to fly, so he clearly hasn't broken through yet. He's still at the peak of the war god level. He's a spirit reader at the peak of the advanced level war god level. Yet he killed Li Yao with just one golden light. Luo Feng must have obtained an extremely powerful special weapon. The representatives and their friends discussed in low voices. Li Yao's breakthrough before shocked everyone. So many representatives paid attention to this matter. After that came news of Li Yao being killed by Luo Feng. Of course, many representatives wanted to know how Li Yao was killed. With over 30 representatives paying attention to this matter, Hong and Thunder God couldn't hide it from them. So, they played the video of Luo Feng killing Li Yao. Hong and Thunder God didn't slow down the video. Instead, they played it at a normal speed. All the representatives could see was that the special weapon hovering in front of Luo Feng instantly turned into a golden light and shot out, blasting Li Yao into pieces. Luo Feng's weapon is too powerful. Didn't he stay in archaeological ruin number 9 for a year and 3 months? He must have gained something. That weapon was probably obtained from an ancient civilization ruin. He's only at the peak of the war god level. Yet he's able to unleash such power with this weapon. If a powerful fighter that truly breaks through to the representative level uses this weapon, it'll definitely be even more powerful. Everyone covets good things. It would be strange if a kid didn't get his gold ingot stolen when he was carrying it on the street. One theory. Most of these representatives coveted that special weapon that can turn into a golden light. However, Luo Feng isn't a kid. He's a powerful fighter that can kill a representative. So these representatives held themselves back. However, they were still quite confident because they were different from Li Yao. When Li Yao was executed, he didn't have a black god set, and all the other representatives had black god sets. With a black god set, their defensive capabilities instantly increased by more than 10 times. Luo Feng and the other 4 investigators were together. "Why do I feel like quite a few representatives are looking at me strangely?" said Luo Feng quietly. "Who told you to be so famous?" said Investigator Wang on the side. "You're just a spirit reader at the peak of the war god level, yet you can use a weapon to kill a true representative level fighter. Clearly, this weapon is very powerful. Say, how many of these representatives aren't jealous? They just hold themselves back a bit. However, most of them will make a move if they have the chance," Luo Feng laughed. "A group of representatives? He really doesn't care about them. On Earth, there are only 2 people that he can truly strive to surpass: Hong and Thunder God. As for the others, they really aren't much. When he goes back this time, he'll undergo the 99 spirit forging and directly become a Star Traveler level 1 stage spirit reader. When that time comes, even if a group of representatives tries to mess with him, they'll just be sending themselves to death. However, he believes that these representatives won't have the guts to do so." Rumble. The banquet hall's door opened again. Everyone turned their heads to look. The black-clothed man Hong and the bald monk Thunder God walked in one after another. All the representatives quieted down and didn't dare to speak. Everyone, the black-clothed man, Hong's cold gaze swept across everyone present. The formless pressure made everyone's hearts tremble. They couldn't resist at all. "I heard your discussion just now loud and clear. I can't believe that after just 10 years, some people have already forgotten about the Arhan incident from back then. A bunch of trash." Thunder God also laughed coldly on the side. Many representatives' faces went pale. The Arhan incident was when Hong killed a powerful representative, Arhan, in a fit of rage. Not just Hong. On Earth, Hong and Thunder God were the ones who had killed councilman powerhouses. Of course, Luo Feng is included today. However, what's different from Luo Feng is that Hong and Thunder God both killed representatives wearing Black God sets. Thunder God and I created the Palace of War Gods and gathered everyone together in hopes that the elites of humanity can work hard for humanity's survival. Unite! You must all remember these two words. Otherwise, the battle for survival between humanity and the monsters might very well end with the extinction of humanity, said the black-clothed man, Hong, coldly. There are many times more sea monsters than us humans. The black-clothed man, Hong, said coldly. The number of sea monsters is many times that of us humans. There are also many more Emperor-level monsters than us, and there are even 2 Emperor-level monsters. Luo Feng, who was in the banquet hall, was shocked when he heard this. Emperor-level monsters? 2. However, the other representatives weren't shocked at all. Clearly, they all knew this. Unity is number 1. I don't want to see things like Arhin and Li Nanxing happen again. If they do, Thunder God and I don't mind getting rid of them. These people are just the black sheep of the herd. The black-clothed man, Hong's voice was cold. None of the representatives dared to make a sound. As for Luo Feng's incident, Luo Feng's weapon is called the soaring shuttle. The representative's ears perked up. I gave it to Luo Feng, the black-clothed man, Hong said coldly. Of course, 1 is because Luo Feng's talent is good enough. 2 is because Luo Feng gave me all of the spirits of nature he obtained on the Misty Island back then. That's why I gave him the soaring shuttle. I'm a very fair person. If you want something, you have to give something. The black-clothed man, Hong, looked towards Luo Feng. Luo Feng, come with me. The others can continue the banquet. After saying that, the black-clothed man, Hong, turned around and headed outside. The bald monk, Thunder God, also followed on the side. After Luo Feng heard the order, he also followed and walked out of the banquet hall. Rumble. The banquet hall's door closed once again. Only then did all the representatives let out a sigh of relief. They all looked at each other with lingering fear. Hong and Thunder God haven't been angry in front of the representatives for a very, very long time. Humans are very forgetful creatures. A dozen years is enough for them to forget Hong and Thunder God's ruthlessness. That scene just now, everyone felt. In front of Hong, their lives were no longer theirs. This feeling made everyone terrified. Not a single person dared to have any evil thoughts. P.S. Chapter 1 here. Chapter 202. Today's second chapter. Luo Feng calmly followed behind the black-clothed man, Hong, and the white-robed monk, Thunder God. These two are the strongest fighters on Earth. Luo Feng looked at the backs of these two and set them as his goals to surpass. To be able to reach the Star Traveler Level 7 stage in a few short decades. While the other is only a Star Traveler Level 6 stage, but is called Invincible in the Star Traveler level. This training speed far surpasses everyone else on Earth. Hua! As they followed the path, the metal door opened. The 3 of them entered and the metal door closed. As they moved forward, they quickly arrived at the balcony. Hong and Thunder God both sat down. Hong glanced at Luo Feng. Sit. Yes, had Luo Feng sat on the side with his back straight. Kiddo Luo, how did you kill Li Yao with a soaring shuttle? Tell me in detail. Thunder God smiled and seemed to be very friendly. Back then, your head and I discovered this soaring shuttle and thought about it for a long time. Even though we know that this spirit weapon is very powerful, we never knew how to use it. Luo Feng was shocked. The bald crystal person said that Hong and Thunder God both received inheritances from other civilizations, so they clearly know how powerful the spirit weapon is. However, the soaring shuttle is one of Yin Mo planet's unique spirit weapons, so the method to use it is also top secret. Outsiders can't even use the soaring shuttle after obtaining it. What do I do? The secret of the soaring shuttle cannot be leaked. According to what's written, if I leak it to Yin Mo planet, I'll be punished with 60 years of hard labor. If I leak it to an outsider, I'll be killed. That bald crystal person monitors the entire Earth. If I leak it, he'll definitely know. Maybe he'll just release a laser and kill me, Luo Feng didn't dare to take any risks. Hong and Thunder God exchanged glances. Is there a problem? Hong looked at Luo Feng. I'm just thinking about how to say it. Luo Feng took in a deep breath. I'm sure the head can guess that there's an AI system controlling archaeological ruin number 9. Hong and Thunder God nodded. Many war gods on Earth have entered over and over again, so they easily realized that the archaeological ruins programming was very serious. They naturally guessed that there was an AI system controlling the archaeological ruin. As I said before, because of my high brain expanse, I received a special test in archaeological ruin number 9. It was a life and death crisis. In the process, I received some guidance from Spirit Reader Manipulator. Among them, I've learned 2 ways to use the soaring shuttle, one for offense and the other for defense. In the end, I spent 1 year and 3 months in there before I successfully completed the mission. He also obtained a secret cultivation method for a Spirit Reader Manipulator. It's just that I've always felt that this archaeological ruin number 9 is like a teacher that's picking out his students, yet hiding a lot of knowledge. Luo Feng shook his head and sighed. Hong and Thunder God nodded slightly. It's normal. Hong smiled calmly. That archaeological ruin number 9 is one of the few ruins on Earth that are still in good condition. From what we know, it is a place to select disciples. However, it treats spirit readers more favorably. We can see it by looking at the death rate of spirit readers and fighters. Luo Feng was stunned. Yes, before entering, Hong said that some of the advanced level, war god level spirit readers who entered archaeological ruin number 9 failed, but none of them died. And the death rate of war god level fighters is very high. Clearly, archaeological ruin number 9 favors spirit readers and isn't very fair in its selection. So, I'm guessing that the power behind archaeological ruin number 9 must value spirit readers, said Hong. Luo Feng cheered to himself. According to what he knows, the master of Yun Mo planet, Hu Yin Bo, created many spirit weapons. Someone who can create spirit weapons. He's probably an unimaginable existence among spirit readers. Keep in mind that in order to use the 3rd form of this soaring shuttle, one has to be at least a universe-level spirit reader to be able to create a weapon that even universe-level fighters have to work hard to master. This Hu Yin Bo's power probably surpasses the universe level. Since the master of Yun Mo planet has great accomplishments as a spirit reader, it wouldn't be strange for him to specially select spirit readers as his disciples. This power values spirit readers, and archaeological ruin number 9 is just a test to enter. Why would they teach so many? Hong shook his head and then looked at Luo Feng. Luo Feng, there's only one spirit reader on Earth who has reached the representative level, and that's the 4th chairman, Eastbourne. However, his talent isn't as high as yours. And that guy's too ambitious. I don't like him. You can control 16 hidden weapons now, so you should be able to break through, right? Hong looked at Luo Feng. That Eastbourne can only control 14 hidden weapons at most, probably. Recently, I feel like I can break through at any time, replied Luo Feng. Okay, Hong and Thunder God slightly nodded. If there's anyone on Earth who understands the universe the most, it's Hong and Thunder God. Most of the many ruins on Earth were discovered by these 2 strongest fighters. Luo Feng doesn't know as much as Hong and Thunder God. The more they understand about the vast universe, the more Hong and Thunder God don't dare to relax. Keep working hard, encourage Hong. Ed, you guys were talking about the Emperor monster before. Luo Feng followed up. What's up with this Emperor monster? Hong and Thunder God exchanged glances. Hong emphasized, you haven't been in the circle of representatives for long, so this isn't really a big secret, whether it's a human or a monster. After breaking through to the war god level or horde leader level, it doesn't mean that their strength stops growing. Among us human representatives, there are strong and weak ones too. Even me and Thunder God far surpass the others. Monsters are the same. There are strong and weak Emperor-level monsters, but normally the difference won't be too shocking, just a few times more. However, the area of the ocean is many times the size of the land. Countless monsters live there, and there are so many Emperor-level monsters. Naturally, there will be extremely terrifying monsters born. These two monsters, we call them the Emperor monster. Every one of them has shocking strength. Other than me and Thunder God, anyone else on Earth who meets them will die, for sure, said Hong without hesitation. Luo Feng was shocked. There are such terrifying monsters? However, after thinking about it, one can understand that the higher one's position is, the more they know. For example, the spirits of nature, etc., normal fighters don't even know about them. Once the news of the Emperor monster spreads, it will only cause more unrest in human society. As long as the representatives know that there are monsters that can instantly kill them, they will work hard and not relax. Remember, the representative level is just the beginning, not the end, said Hong seriously. You cannot slack off. Understood? Nodded Luo Feng. Of course he understood. The so-called representative level is actually the Star Traveler level. He even knows that the Star Traveler level is split into 9 stages. He also knows that of the 2 heads, one is a Star Traveler level 6 stage, and the other is a Star Traveler level 7 stage. Okay, Hong slightly sighed. The dojo of Limit's appointment of the 6th investigator is going to be announced to the entire world. We have to choose an important date. I think January 1st, 5th, and 18th are all good dates. Pick one inch, take over as investigator? Luo Feng thought for a bit and smiled. January 1st is New Year's Day. I don't think it's a good time. So let's do January 5, teach. Okay, not at Hong. All right, go to the banquet. Yes, Luo Feng responded and immediately left. Only Hong and Thunder God were left on the terrace. Brother Hong, I feel like this punk is hiding something, smiled Thunder God as he looked at Hong. Everyone has secrets. Some secrets they won't even tell their family. Is there a need to force him? Said Hong seriously. What I've always been worried about is that Earth will one day be discovered by some country or power in the universe. When that time comes, whether Earth's humans will perish, be enslaved, sold off as slaves, or survive. It's hard to say, so we have to enter this star level as soon as possible. That way, we'll have the power to protect Earth. Okay, Thunder God slightly nodded. The 2 pinnacle existences of Earth were worried about the fate of Earth's humans. They were very clear on how tiny Earth is in the vast universe. And Earth's humans are just the natives of this planet. Pung, pung, pung. The sound of knocking rang. Come in, said Hong. The door automatically opened. Allure walked up to the terrace and said respectfully, Head, I just received news that something special happened on the Misty Island. Head will know after watching the video. Misty Island? Thunder God was shocked. Brother Hong, isn't that where you got the cloud contact vine? Play it, ordered Hong. Minghui District. At night, Luo Feng's family was eating dinner. Dad, Mom, I'm going out to do something tonight. It'll take about 5 to 6 days. Luo Feng picked up his bowl and picked up a piece of scrambled egg. 5 or 6 days. At the dining table, Father Luo Honghua, Mother Gong Xian Lan, and Brother Luo Hua were all shocked. You've only been back for 2 days. Why did you go out again? Gong Xian Lan couldn't help but ask. There's no danger, right? The child is going out. It's something important. Don't interrupt, Luo Hong was said in a low voice. I'm worried about little Feng. What are you shouting for? Gong Xian Lan immediately shouted. All right, Dad, Mom. Luo Feng said, this time I'm going out without any danger. I'm just doing something important. I'll be back in 5 to 6 days. Only then did the family relax a little. After all, Luo Feng had indeed disappeared for a year and 3 months. Late at night, Luo Feng stepped on the soaring shuttle and silently left his home. After that, he silently entered the Emperor-level auto jet in the night. Inside the auto jet, the seat was as flat as the floor. Luo Feng sat cross-legged. Don't worry, good boy. I'll call you when the time comes. Luo Feng ended his call with Su Xian. Number 1, don't let anyone disturb me until I come out, commanded Luo Feng. Everything is ready. He told his family and Su Xian that the investigator appointment is on January 5th. There's still 8 to 9 days left, which is enough for him to break through to the Star Traveler level. 81 Spirit Forging. Luo Feng took in a deep breath and closed his eyes. In his mind, he swiftly recalled the 81 steps of the 81 spirit forging. No problem then. Let's begin. Luo Feng's breathing gradually calmed down, and his heartbeat slowed down. And in his boundless realm of consciousness, the originally calm, spiritual force that was like a galaxy suddenly started to surge. Rumble, the surging spiritual force suddenly started to spin and started to speed up, speed up. P.S. Chapter 2 has arrived. Continue to write Chapter 3. Monthly votes, monthly votes. I'm going to break my moonlit chrysanthemum. Chapter 203. Luo Feng began his 99 spirit forging, and the representatives who received Hong's warning were all very obedient. Countless citizens of China were also preparing for the upcoming New Year's. The entire Earth was very peaceful. 12/30/2058, 21:36 p.m., Earth, Pacific Ocean, deep in the sea, a few hundred kilometers away from the Hawaiian archipelago. Cold, dark. In this area at the bottom of the sea, an oval-shaped black egg with a diameter of around 12 meters had been here for over a year. It was covered in mud and weeds, making it very inconspicuous. Many monsters in the surrounding area of the sea discovered this mysterious egg over a year ago, but none of them were able to bite through the eggshell. Gradually, fewer and fewer monsters came to pay attention to this mysterious giant egg. Crack, crack, crack. The mysterious black egg slightly shook, and some of the weeds and mud that fell on the egg also slid off. Actually, over a month ago, this egg would occasionally shake, and the frequency gradually increased. Yesterday, the mysterious giant egg trembled more than 10 times. Crack, crack, crack. The mysterious black egg shook again, and some of the weeds and mud slid off again. As they slid off, the strange golden markings on the surface of the black egg were gradually revealed. Wong, wong, wong. The black egg actually started to shake violently, and the shaking became stronger and stronger. With a clear sound, a crack appeared on the surface of the black egg, followed by pa, pa, pa. After a few heavy sounds, the cracks on the black egg directly broke open, and a black unknown object covered in mucus came out of the eggshell. Ka-chi, ka-chi. This unknown object covered in mucus actually started to eat the eggshell, as if it had been starving for who knows how many years. It was crazily eating. In just a few minutes, about a third of the black, oval-shaped egg with a diameter of 12 meters was eaten, and the black unknown object was completely revealed. This was a reptilian unknown creature that was completely black, and its body was covered in black scales. Its huge black body also had a pair of wings covered in scales, and a tail that was slowly swaying like a dragon's tail. On its raised head was a single horn that pierced towards the sky. However, its entire body was covered in mucus, making it impossible to see its true appearance. As it ate the black eggshells, the black monster's body grew larger and larger. From 12 meters long, it gradually grew longer. When it finished eating all the eggshells, it was already 16 meters long. Now that the mucus had been completely absorbed, the black monster's body became clear. Oh! A shrill, joyful sound came from its throat. This was a 16-meter-long beast that had never been seen before on Earth. The black scales on its body were like sharp blades that sent chills down one's spine. Its body had an inexplicable pressure that made people feel suffocated. Whether it was its ferocious wings covered in scales, or its strong limbs, tail, or horn, they were all ice-cold black. To be precise, the sharp black horn had mysterious golden markings on it, but they were very inconspicuous. One would only notice them if they looked closely. The mysterious golden stripes spread along the horn, head, neck, and scales on its back, as if a layer of golden striped armor had fused into its back. The dense golden stripes even spread from its back to its wings, and then to its claws. After eating the black eggshells, the mysterious monster sat on the seabed and looked around. The ancient memories contained in its bloodline gradually surged into its mind. The mysterious monster's dark golden pupils suddenly lit up, turning into a dazzling gold. The mysterious golden stripes on its horn, neck, and scales on its back also lit up slightly, and a trace of gold that could be seen with the naked eye appeared. The surrounding water flow suddenly stagnated, and the rocks on the seabed beneath the mysterious monster trembled slightly. Waves of energy surged into its body. However, it only took a moment before it stopped absorbing energy. Well, the mysterious monster stood up angrily and kept looking around, as if it was thinking about something. In the end, it could only let out an unwilling growl, and then slightly swung its tail. With a whoosh, it broke through the water and moved forward. It was as if it did not need oxygen and could naturally walk on the seabed like it was on flat ground. Suddenly, a group of fish monsters appeared in front of it. They had crisscrossed teeth, and their eyes were red. Each of them was more than 5 meters long, and the strange thing was that there were 2 sharp claws with 3 toes under their abdomens. Screech, a sharp sound followed. This large group of fish monsters quickly surrounded the mysterious monster. They had completely treated this monster that they had never seen before as food. There were too many types of monsters in the sea. Even the monsters that lived in the seabed all year round would often encounter monsters that they had never encountered before. Normally, they would judge their strength by their size. Sea monsters were generally larger than land monsters. King-class sea monsters were usually more than 100 meters long. Lord-class sea monsters were usually more than 20 meters long. This mysterious monster in front of them was only about 16 meters long. It was probably not even a Lord-class monster. This group of fish monsters was naturally not afraid. If they worked together, they could even kill a Lord-class monster. Screech. With a command, the fish monsters rushed out, and at the same time, shio. Rays of red light shot out from the eyes of this group of fish monsters. The red light shot out by the densely packed fish monsters instantly formed a net, covering the entire mysterious monster. The mysterious monster's pair of cold eyes stared at the fish monsters that covered the sky and covered the earth. Whoa, low growl. Whoosh. The mysterious monster's wings, which were covered with blade-like scales, suddenly spread open. When it spread its wings, it was at least 20 meters wide. It moved. The mysterious monster instantly turned into a blurry golden afterimage. The afterimage instantly covered an area of 300 meters. The entire area within 300 meters instantly became an absolute dead zone. All the fish monsters instantly died. Even some other sea monsters were strangled to death. They were strangled to death by that pair of wings. Catchy. The mysterious monster grabbed the bodies of the 3 strongest sea monsters. The combined size of the bodies of the 3 monsters was even larger than its entire body. It easily ate them with its bloody mouth. In just 10 seconds, it finished them all. Whoa! The mysterious monster let out a dissatisfied roar. It seemed that the 3 bodies made it very dissatisfied. Its body length was still about 16 meters. There was no change at all. Shio! With a flick of its tail, it continued forward. It didn't even stop when it encountered monsters below the Lord class. 2 Lord class mountain shaking whales appeared in front of it. With a low growl, it spread its wings again. Asterisk from that night onwards, the surrounding sea began a bloody hunt. Its stomach was like a bottomless pit. It ate and ate. Along the way, it ate large amounts of terrifying sea monsters. Every single one of them was a Lord-class monster. If these large sea monsters were piled up, it could probably form a mountain. However, in less than a day, even though it had eaten so many monsters, its body length did not change much. To the surrounding sea region, this was simply a disaster. The death of large amounts of Lord-class monsters finally attracted the attention of the king of the sea, a powerful emperor-class monster, dragon turtle. To be able to occupy an area of thousands of miles in the center of the Pacific Ocean, this dragon turtle was extremely terrifying even among the emperor-class monsters. Before the Grand Nirvana period, it had lived in a cave at the bottom of the sea for over 100 years. It was considered one of the oldest turtles. Roar! The enormous dragon turtle was like a mountain, quickly advancing under the sea. Just its shell alone was over 300 meters. If this dragon turtle floated out of the sea, It would be like an island in the middle of the sea. Unfortunately, because it was too big, it couldn't follow the rivers to enter the mainland. Otherwise, the dragon turtle, famous for its defense, would definitely be a huge headache for humans. It actually dared to kill so many of my subordinates in my territory. I must kill it, kill it. The dragon turtle roared in its heart. In terms of intelligence, some emperor-class monsters were even more cunning than humans. So it's there. Under the leadership of the Lord-class monster, the enormous dragon turtle quickly advanced. Invading its territory, wantonly killing in its territory, it must kill the other party. If it didn't fight, then it would retreat from this territory, admit defeat, and let the other party occupy this territory. This was the rule of the sea monsters. Woo, woo. The mysterious monster that had been born for almost a day was very unhappy. It had devoured a large number of water monsters in the sea that seemed to be of good quality. According to its inherited memories, monsters of that size should be quite strong. Eating them should be quite beneficial to it. However, it ate so much, but it didn't help much. It didn't even eat 1/10,000th of the eggshell. Woo. Dissatisfied and angry, the mysterious monster decided to lie down and rest. After all, it was just a baby that had been born for less than a day. Suddenly, the mysterious monster raised its head slightly and looked into the distance. Its cold eyes shone with a golden light, and its golden pupils seemed to be able to see very far away in the pitch-black depths of the sea. Woo! The mysterious monster quickly stood up and let out a low roar of excitement. With a flick of its tail, it charged forward like a bolt of lightning. At the bottom of the sea, a black monster with a body length of 16 meters and a gigantic creature with a shell diameter of 300 meters, the dragon turtle finally met. The distance between them was only 100 meters. The dragon turtle's 3-story tall eyes stared at the tiny thing in front of it. 16 meters long? It was indeed the tiny thing. What kind is it? I've never seen it before. For sharp claws, is it from land? It has wings. Is it a bird? The dragon turtle was very intelligent, but no matter how it looked at it, it couldn't recognize the tiny thing in front of it. What kind of monster was it? Seeing how it could move freely in the sea, it was obviously very good at underwater. It looked like a land monster, but it had wings and lived in the water. What the hell? Woo! The mysterious monster excitedly growled. A pair of wings covered in scales suddenly spread open. Whoosh! In an instant, the mysterious monster transformed into an afterimage. Facing this scene, the dragon turtle leisurely stared at the little thing. It was famous for its defense. Even other king-tier monsters would not be able to injure it easily. Chi-chi-chi-chi, the huge dragon turtle, which was like an island at the bottom of the sea, suddenly trembled. The mysterious monster's sharp wings swept past its shell and actually cracked it. Fortunately, the shell was very thick, so it was fine. This tiny thing. The dragon turtle looked at the mysterious monster floating in the sea in disbelief. Woo! The mysterious monster seemed to be very happy and let out 2 cries. Whoosh! This time, the mysterious monster didn't spread its wings. Instead, it turned into a straight line and almost teleported to the front of the dragon turtle's huge head. Then, the mysterious monster stretched out its 2 front limbs. Each of its 4 limbs had 5 toes. At this moment, whoosh, 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 whoosh. The toes, which were usually tucked away, stretched out like sharp blades. Hoo! A claw slashed across the dragon turtle's head. The hard and scale-covered dragon turtle's head was directly torn apart by the sharp claws. Brain matter splattered out. Too fast. The dragon turtle only had a trace of fear before it died. Fast. So fast that even the king-tier dragon turtle couldn't dodge. Strong attack. Strong enough to kill the king-tier dragon turtle with a single claw. Woo! The mysterious monster excitedly started to swallow the entire dragon turtle. The dragon turtle, which was the size of an island at the bottom of the sea, was much easier for the mysterious monster to eat than eating eggshells. In just a few minutes, the huge dragon turtle was completely devoured, The king-tier monsters in the surroundings were so scared that they fled in all directions. It couldn't be helped. This mysterious monster was infamous. Woo! After eating, the mysterious monster laid down contentedly and closed its eyes. Finally, it was a little full. At this moment, its body length finally increased by about 0.1 meters. P.S. 3 chapters completed. Finally born, Devouring Starry Sky turns over a new page. Brothers, the last day of October. The last day. Tomato shouted for monthly votes. Chapter 204. The birth of the mysterious monster caused a bloodbath in the Pacific Ocean. The humans on Earth didn't notice at all, and Luo Feng was still concentrating on his 81 spirit forging in his Emperor-level auto-jet. Time passed. January 1st, 2059. Mingyue Sector, Luo Feng's home. I'm sorry, Mr. Wang, but my brother isn't home. Luo Hua smiled as he spoke to a bespectacled middle-aged man in the living room. Today is New Year's. Representative Luo isn't home. The middle-aged man was a bit shocked. Yeah, I'm really sorry, Luo Hua nodded. I still have things to do at home, so I won't keep Mr. Wang. Next time, I'll personally take care of Mr. Wang. All right, then I'll be leaving first. This Mr. Wang also left very politely. Luo Hua shook his head as he watched him leave. This was the 12th wave of people inviting his brother in the past few days. Those who have the courage to invite a representative-level fighter all have powerful backgrounds. For a power like the Su family, if it weren't for Su Exine, they wouldn't even have the right to visit a representative's house. That Mr. Wang just now was a representative of some of the most powerful people in China's political world. Where did brother go? Luo Hua stood in front of his house's courtyard. The dojo of limits invited him, the military invited him, the political world invited him, and even the HR Alliance invited him. There were invitations from both Europe and the United States. It seems like nobody knows that my brother went out to do something. What is brother doing? Luo Hua thought. Not many people know Luo Feng's current situation. During the celebration of New Year's, many people were watching a party. And in Mingyue Sector's auto jet, Luo Feng sat cross-legged without moving in the dark cabin of the jet. In his realm of consciousness, Hua, a bright galaxy formed a whirlpool. The water crazily spun and formed circles of whirlpools. The whirlpool fiercely expanded and the water became much thinner, as if it was a transparent curtain of water. Whoosh, shrink. The originally expanding curtain of water fiercely shrunk and instantly became a gigantic spinning ball of water. The ball of water was translucent and had all sorts of strange lights flashing within it. An extremely small amount of dark gold shards were mixed within, clearly not completely dissolved yet. Expand, shrink. Expand again, shrink again. The stream of mind power was like a heart, expanding and contracting again and again, as if it had a life of its own. In this special rhythm, the dark gold shards gradually melted, making the water flow even stronger. Expand, thin as a cicada's wing. Shrink, penetrate the water ball. The 80th step is complete. I can start the 81st step, the last step. Luo Feng was also a bit excited. This last step was the most important step of the 81 spirits forging, and also the most difficult step. Within Luo Feng's consciousness, a completely transparent water ball was constantly rotating like a planet. There was no mist, and the size of the water ball did not change at all. Begin. Under Luo Feng's control. Boom. In the boundless sea of consciousness, the huge transparent water ball floating in the air began to vibrate from its core, emitting waves of psyche power mist that penetrated the entire transparent water ball. 10 wisps of psychic energy mist, 20 wisps of psychic energy mist, 30 wisps of psychic energy mist. More and more wisps of psychic energy mist appeared. Soon, the entire transparent water ball was covered by psychic energy mist. Time passed by minute. Under Luo Feng's extremely precise control, the transparent water ball continued to undergo minute changes. The mist on its surface became stronger and stronger, to the point where it formed a gigantic ball of mist. It was impossible to see the water ball inside the ball of mist. After an unknown amount of time, the gigantic ball of mist was already 100 times larger than the previous water ball. Seems to have dissipated. This is the moment. Explode. Luo Feng roared in his heart. Boom. The gigantic ball of mist in the boundless sea of consciousness instantly expanded. Just like a star exploding into a supernova at the end of its life, the gigantic ball of mist instantly exploded to its limit. It covered every part of the sea of consciousness. At the moment when it exploded to its limit, right after, an incredible suction force formed in the core of the sea of consciousness. Collapse. Hoo-hoo, large amounts of mist and water seemed to have fallen into a black hole as they crazily revolved and gathered at the core. Wong. The entire sea of consciousness shook once. It was completely empty. All of the mist and water disappeared. In the boundless sea of consciousness, only the core out of light was left. It was as if there was only one planet in the boundless universe. The surface of the planet even had a layer of light surrounding it, making it look like a ball of light. In the core of the sea of consciousness, there was only one ball of light. This was a beautiful ball of light. Other than the layer of light on the surface, the essence of this ball of light was formed by large amounts of transparent crystals in the shape of a pyramid. The densely packed, transparent crystals gathered together to form a planet. A formless and strange vibration continuously spread from this ball of light. Hoo-hoo, hoo-hoo, in the sea of consciousness, the only ball of light continuously revolved. A formless energy spread out and covered Luo Feng's entire body before spreading out of his body. Success. This is the Star Traveler level. This ball of light is the core of a Star Traveler level fighter. Luo Feng's mind moved. Pure spiritual force immediately spread out from the ball of light and covered his entire body. In the auto jet, the moment Luo Feng's Star Traveler level spiritual force spread to his body, his originally calm body instantly started to undergo a drastic change. The bones, marrow, veins, muscles, fascia, skin, etc. in his body were all undergoing an unbelievable change. The genes in his body were also swiftly decomposing and reassembling. A life form transformation. This transformation is much more important than any of the previous ones. Back in archaeological ruin number 9, the bald crystal person said that jumping from the student level to this Star Traveler level is a life form transformation. After reaching the Star Traveler level, you don't need to breathe and can directly fly. Only after reaching the Star Traveler level can you be called a fighter and a spirit reader. Only after reaching the Star Traveler level can you roam the universe and have the right to live comfortably. Without reaching this level, you don't have the ability to roam the universe. This feeling is amazing when the transformed spiritual force caused his body to transform. Luo Feng felt an unprecedented shock. It was as if his body, which reached its limit and couldn't grow anymore, instantly became a baby. The bones, muscles, and organs in his entire body all underwent a fundamental change. A life form transformation. The increase in strength of a student level from a student level 1, beginner level warrior, to a student level 9, advanced level war god, is an increase in the foundation of the original body. And reaching the advanced level war god level is already the limit. If I don't cross over, I'll never be able to break through, and once I cross over, my life form will step into a higher level, from the Star Traveler level 1 stage to the Star Traveler level 9 stage. Asterisk, 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 asterisk late at night. Many families in the Ming-US sector were already asleep. The hatch of the auto jet parked in the grass slowly opened. Whoosh! A human silhouette rushed into the sky and then floated around 300 meters in the air. His black robe was fluttering in the wind. He wasn't stepping on anything and just floated. This is the Star Traveler level. Luo Feng looked down at the city below him and felt the ball of light in his realm of consciousness. He finally discovered the true power of the Star Traveler level. That ball of light isn't just a simple spiritual force core. It has a special ability. It can be said to be a miniature planet. It can spin on its own and has its own magnetic field. The miniature planet in his realm of consciousness allows Luo Feng to not need to breathe. And it can even control the magnetic field around Luo Feng's body according to his will. By counteracting the gravitational force from the Earth, he can naturally float. By giving himself a magnetic field, he can swiftly fly forward. In other words, Star Traveler level fighters can all have their own miniature planet. They're the owners of this miniature planet. According to the will of a Star Traveler level fighter, he can increase the strength of his magnetic field to a certain direction. That way, he can naturally fly as he pleases. However, the magnetic field of the miniature planet is limited, so a Star Traveler level fighter's flying speed is limited. No wonder they say that going from a student to the Star Traveler level is a leap in life. That's right. A Star Traveler level fighter can actually have a miniature planet that can spin on its own and has a magnetic field. Maybe this miniature planet is still very weak, but as it grows, it will naturally provide its owner, the Star Traveler level fighter, with even more help. Only a powerful fighter who has his own miniature planet can be considered a true human of the universe. Luo Feng was extremely moved. Night. Luo Feng floated in the sky above the city and opened his arms. My spiritual force has condensed into a miniature crystal planet. It has gathered together and caused my consciousness to become much stronger. Luo Feng was extremely happy. Just like a person with a weak body, his consciousness is weak and he can faint at any time. A person with a strong body will also be able to see clearly, and the spiritual force that originally existed in the form of a river has condensed into a miniature planet. It has indeed caused Luo Feng's consciousness to become much stronger. However, these opportunities are extremely rare. A leap in life from a student level 9 stage to the Star Traveler level, from the Star Traveler level 9 stage to the Star level, from the Star Traveler level 9 stage to the Universe level. These are the true leaps in life. Only then will one's consciousness be strengthened. Normally, when one's strength increases, one doesn't have these opportunities. Soaring shuttle. Luo Feng's thoughts moved. Immediately, the 365 blades that merged into his black vest swiftly flew out and formed the soaring shuttle, appearing under Luo Feng's feet. My body has formed a magnetic field around it, and my spiritual force will act as a force. And I'll step on the soaring shuttle. I wonder what level my flying speed will reach. In the sky above Yangzhou City, Luo Feng, who was like a god in the night, instantly became a blur. As if he teleported, he directly disappeared. P.S. Chapter 1. I finally stepped into the Star Traveler level. These last few hours, don't waste your monthly passes, throw them at Tomato. Chapter 2:05. For the first time, Luo Feng wasn't restricted by Earth's gravity. The feeling of being able to fly as he pleased was amazing. Night wilderness. Luo Feng floated in midair and lowered his head to look at the mini quantum computer. Luckily, I have a mini quantum computer. Let's test my speed. A mini quantum computer is a must-have for every member of the UNMO planet. Its functions far surpass the tactical communications watch of Earth. It can test the basic combat strength of a student to the universe level. At the same time, it can detect the environment within a certain range, test speed, test the power of a certain attack, etc. I'll test all the different situations I'll be flying at once. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Luo Feng, dressed in black, flew through the sky like lightning time and time again. His speed was different every time. In just a short while, he finished testing all the different situations. The first situation, without using a magnetic field or the soaring shuttle, just using his spiritual force to push himself to reach a speed of 912 meters per second. The second situation, without using the soaring shuttle, but using a magnetic field and spiritual force, is what most spirit readers do. Luo Feng reached a speed of 1,223 meters per second. The third situation, which is Luo Feng's peak situation, explodes with the soaring shuttle, magnetic field, and spiritual force. His speed reaches a shocking 2,412 meters per second. Using the soaring shuttle and not using the soaring shuttle are two completely different levels. Luo Feng was shocked by this number. A Star Traveler Level 1 stage Spirit Reader normally flies at 1,200 meters per second. And with the soaring shuttle, it can reach 2,400 meters per second. That's double the amount. Luo Feng was clear that the faster the speed, the more resistance there is. So it's extremely hard to increase the speed of 1,200 meters per second. And don't even mention doubling it in one go. Even a Star Traveler Level 4 or 5-stage fighter might not have such a shocking speed. From then on, from this, one can see how powerful the soaring shuttle is. A Spirit Reader with a Spirit Weapon sure increases his strength by a lot. Luo Feng was amazed. Let's test my current attack power again. With a thought, one of the blades in the soaring shuttle separated. Then, under the effect of his psychic power, the blade instantly turned into a stream of light and fiercely hit a dilapidated gas station building in the highway service area in the distance. The gas station building seemed to be made of tofu, and a hole was directly pierced through. The powerful explosion caused the entire dilapidated gas station to collapse. Luo Feng lowered his head and looked at the mini quantum computer. Attack power, Star Traveler Level 128%, Spirit Reader. This number made Luo Feng extremely happy. There was an explanation on the AI that the so-called first-order planetary state of 28% was the highest value of the first star level, which was more than twice the lowest value. Star Traveler Level 1, Spirit Reader, had a minimum attack power of 1 million kilograms, and the highest weight was 2 million kilograms. In a Star Traveler Level 1 stage, 28%, Spirit Reader, meant that Luo Feng's blade had an attack power of around 28 million kilograms. Just step into the Star Traveler Level 1 stage, and his throwing knife already has such power. Not bad. Luo Feng was quite satisfied with himself. According to the description of the AI, after stepping into the Star Traveler realm, there was a huge difference between Spirit Readers and genetic martial artists. The power of genetic martial artists was divided into physical strength and genetic origin energy. After stepping into the planetary realm, their origin energy could be released externally. His origin energy attack would reach 1 million kilograms, and his physical strength would also reach 1 million kilograms. So, the basic weight of a Star Traveler Level 1 martial artist was 2 million to 4 million kilograms. Twice as much as a Spirit Reader. It looked like the martial artist had the upper hand. But keep in mind, in terms of strength amplifier, it's not bad for a fighter to be able to amplify it by 4 to 5 times. The highest on Earth, Thunder God, only amplified it by 7 times. And Luo Feng, before stepping into the Star Traveler level, he amplified it by a full 16 times. In addition to the advantage of flying speed. Moreover, Spirit Readers also need to train their genetic energy. After all, only a strong body can sustain spiritual force. Let's test out the power of the soaring shuttle's transformed mountain drill. In the dark night, a golden light flashed across, and a rumbling explosion sounded. Attack power, Star Traveler Level 1 stage, 28%, Spirit Reader. Amplification by 36 times. Looking at the numbers on the display, Luo Feng was extremely happy. An amplification of 36 times. Thunder God was only 7 times, and the other Star Traveler level Spirit Reader on Earth was only 14 times. The difference between them was huge. Actually, when Luo Feng used the first level of the mountain drill, he used 12 portions of spiritual force, amplifying it by 12 times. However, the power of the mountain drill increased the power of Luo Feng's spiritual force by 3 times. So the amplification reached a horrifying 36 times. According to what the bald crystal person said, most of the star travelers on Earth are at the Star Traveler Level 1 stage. A few are at the Star Traveler Level 2 stage, and 2 are at the Star Traveler Level 3 stage. The ones even higher are Hong and Thunder God, 2-star Traveler level 3-stage fighters. They're probably around the same level as me, but in terms of speed, they probably can't compare to me. Let's see how many hidden weapons I can control now. Luo Feng felt that his consciousness has grown quite a bit after the jump in life, but he didn't know how much he improved. With a thought, whoosh, 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 blade after blade left the soaring shuttle and flew around with extreme speed. Each blade maintained Luo Feng's strongest attack power. 1 blade, 2 blades, 3 blades, 16 blades, 17 blades, 18 blades. I can't use the 19th blade. 18 blades. The smile on Luo Feng's face became even brighter. 18. Then doesn't that mean I can learn the second level of the first form of the soaring shuttle? The soaring shuttle's first form has a total of 3 levels. The first level requires you to control 12 hidden weapons. The second level requires you to control 18 hidden weapons. The third level requires you to control 24 hidden weapons. Raising one's consciousness is extremely difficult. Luo Feng relied on the star Traveler jump to raise it a little. From now on, he can only train step by step. The first level's power is only that strong. What about the second level? Even if it's 3 times the power, 18 times 3, that's a total of 54 times the attack amplifier. Anyone under Hong and Thunder God can be defeated in one move. Stepping into the Star Traveler level this time, the number of knives he can control jumped from 16 to 18. This was considered an additional gain, and this gain allowed Luo Feng to directly learn the second level of the first form of the soaring shuttle. However, when he actually learned it, Luo Feng realized that it was too difficult. Back then, when he was able to control 16 knives, he only needed to learn the first level of the 12 knives. He studied for a few hours and failed thousands and tens of thousands of times. This time, Luo Feng barely reached the standard. January 2nd, failure. January 3rd, failure again. January 4th, failure again. Luo Feng finally understood the difficulty of learning soaring shuttle. However, the difficulty was high. Once he succeeds, Luo Feng will definitely become the 3rd strongest warrior on Earth under Hong and Thunder God. As for now, Luo Feng had the confidence to defeat the 3rd and 4th chairman. However, it was hard for him to kill them in one move. Their strengths were relatively close. January 5th was the day Luo Feng took over as investigator. And on this day, in the wee hours of the morning, in the air above the ocean, a blood-red, triangular fighter jet swiftly flew past. This fighter jet was Hong's unique, prehistoric-level auto jet. Within the fighter jet, the black-clothed Hong and the white-clothed Thunder God sat in their seats. "Brother Hong, don't fight with me for the good stuff on the Misty Island this time," Thunder God said. "Good stuff? Let's talk about the good stuff now. If you have the ability, get rid of that Emperor monster first." Hong glanced at Thunder God, picked up the cup of tea beside him, and drank a mouthful, exclaiming, "This Emperor monster is currently the 3rd Emperor monster on Earth. Even though it just appeared, it can unleash 100% of its power in the water and underground. Even though it's hard, this Misty Island definitely has great treasures." Thunder God said unwillingly, "Forget about the spirits of nature. You found the cloud contact vine on this Misty Island last time. According to the information we got from the archaeological ruins, this cloud contact vine, even in the vast universe, it's an extremely valuable treasure. With the cloud contact vine, Brother Hong, your strength has probably increased by quite a bit. The cloud contact vine is still growing. Right now, it can increase my strength by about 50%. The black-clothed man, Hong, let out a rare smile. 50%. Brother Hong, your strength is invincible within the Star Traveler level. 50% increase. When the cloud contact vine continues to grow, its effects will be even more shocking." Thunder God couldn't help but to say, a cloud contact vine appeared on the Misty Island, and now a powerful monster that we've never seen before. It's definitely because of the treasure on the Misty Island that attracted so many monsters. Hong slightly nodded. When Luo Feng first discovered the Misty Island, there were large amounts of monsters in the lake around the Misty Island. Even though I was confused, why would so many water monsters gather in the lake? My mind was on the cloud contact vine, so I only took the cloud contact vine and investigated the Misty Island. I didn't find anything, so I left. Now it looks like not only are there large amounts of horde leader-level monsters in the lake, but there's also a monster Emperor. Hong frowned. Looking at its octopus-like appearance, it's clearly suited for living in the water and underground. Logically speaking, at the level of the monster Emperor, it should have entered the endless sea, but has been hiding thousands of meters underground in Fog Isle. Spirits of nature, cloud contact vine, monster Emperor. This Misty Island is indeed special. Hong looked at Thunder God and slightly smiled. However, the treasures on this Misty Island belong to the fated. Don't worry, I won't fight you for it. But you know, things like archaeological ruins aren't something that can be obtained by just being strong. It all depends on luck and fate. Thunder God slightly nodded and then grinned. After the new investigator ceremony of your dojo of limits ends, I'll stay on a Misty Island. I don't believe that I won't be able to get a treasure. If you stay there, I'll go too. Let's see who's lucky, smiled Hong. Greedy. Thunder God only said these 2 words. P.S. 2 chapters finished. In the last hour, throw your monthly votes at Tomato. Chapter 206. Yangzhou City, Minghui District. Early in the morning, the sun rose. Dad, be careful, slow down. Luo Feng supported his father, Luo Honghua, as Luo Hong was shakily walked step by step on the road of the sector. Hello, Senator Luo. A young fighter in the sector saw Luo Feng and let out a face of worship as he respectfully yelled. In his heart, he was shocked. Representative Luo is already in existence, surpassing the war god level, and is on the same level as the presidents of the 5 great countries. Yet he's still personally supporting his father on the cobblestone road in the middle of the lawn. Luo Feng supported his father. Little Feng, your identity is different now. You don't have to accompany me personally. Don't they have servants at home? Luo Hongwu lowered his voice and said, Look, many of my old neighbors have told me about it secretly. Little Feng, you're a counselor now. Pay attention to your status. I'm a representative. You're the representative's dad. You're still older than me. Luo Feng laughed. Luo Hongwu could not help but shake his head and smile. Seeing how his father was struggling to walk, Luo Feng felt a bit helpless. The Liao couple dealt with his family back then, especially his father, who almost lost his life. Although he was lucky enough to escape, his father's waist and spine were severely injured. Although he thought of ways to get some medicine, the effect wasn't that strong. Even now, his father still could not move his legs. If that 1,000-year-old black crow root was still here, my father would probably be able to recover after taking a little of it. Unfortunately, little brother sold the 1,000-year black crow root to someone else. Luo Feng didn't blame his brother. If his brother didn't use the 1,000-year black crow root to exchange for the position of the 8th shareholder of ICBC, his family would probably be in an even worse state. Even if I'm a planet-level warrior, it won't be easy for me to get a floral spirit. Luo Feng's head hurt. At the same time, he was grateful for his good luck back then. He obtained so many spirits of nature in one go and then used his wealth to exchange for the soaring shuttle. Noon. Little Feng, can you watch your inauguration ceremony in this channel? In the living room, his parents, his brother Luo Hua, and his girlfriend Zhennan were there. Even Zhennan's parents were there. This is the exclusive channel. Luo Feng nodded and smiled. The investigator inauguration ceremony will begin at 2 p.m. Today is the day he takes over as the investigator. This is a big event for the Dojo of Limits. It's a public appointment. However, this matter was said to be open to the public, but in reality, it was only open to the higher-ups of each country. Normal fighters and normal people don't really understand the situation of existences surpassing the war god level. Mom, Dad, I'm leaving first. At the same time, Luo Feng smiled and nodded towards Zhennan's parents. Zhennan's parents' hearts couldn't help but to speed up. This young man in front of them is an existence surpassing the war god level, who knows how many times higher than the boss of their company. January 5th, 2059, 2 p.m. The Global Dojo of Limit's headquarters, large conference room. The investigator succession ceremony officially began. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the International Dojo of Limit's investigator inauguration ceremony. Today, the one participating in this ceremony is the head of the International Dojo of Limits, Hong. The MC on the stage introduced loudly. Instantly, the camera focused on Hong, who was sitting in the middle of the front row. The head of the Global Thunder Dojo, Thunder God. The third chairman of the Palace of War Gods, Mo Henderson. The fourth chairman of the Palace of War Gods, Ister. The influential figures sat calmly in their seats, and the 3D virtual projection on the stage showed the figures of each guest who was introduced one by one. The last person I want to introduce is Representative Luo Feng, who is about to take over as the Global Dojo of Limits investigator. Suddenly, Luo Feng's figure appeared on the 3D hologram on the stage. "This is the first time I've remembered so many representatives' names," said Luo Feng quietly. The investigator succession ceremony is a rare and important gathering for the representatives, laughed Lu He, who was sitting beside Luo Feng. Lu He, who was sitting beside Luo Feng, laughed softly. For this kind of ceremony, even the two heads will participate. The other three chairmen will also participate. Many representatives, unless there's something important, they'll all come, Luo Feng nodded. Next, we invite Jiangnan headquarters cities, Yangzhou city's Xi'an region's instructor, Jiang Yin. He's also Representative Luo Feng's earliest instructor, yelled the MC. Suddenly, music started playing. Instructor Jiang Yin, who was clearly nervous, swiftly stood up from his seat in the back of the conference room and ran towards the stage. Luo Feng was a bit stunned when he saw Jiang Yin. Even instructor Jiang Yin was invited? "Lu He, what exactly is this ceremony about?" asked Luo Feng quietly. 2 days ago, Yangzhou City's chief instructor Wu Tong, along with my brothers Chun Gu and Zhang Ke, were also invited. Are they going to go on stage today as well? "This ceremony will introduce your glorious deeds from start to finish," laughed Lu He quietly. "Don't rush. This is just the beginning. There will also be some singing and dancing performances in the middle. Those are the world's best singers, dancers, etc. Indeed, this so-called ceremony was basically an introduction of the inspector's past deeds. From Luo Feng living in a cheap rental house to training hard in the dojo, Jiang Yin went on stage. To his first fighter combat exam, Wu Tong went on stage. To his first time entering the wilderness with the Fire Hammer Squad, all members of the Fire Hammer Squad went on stage. To entering the elite training camp, teacher Jiang Feng went on stage. All of the deeds introduced were positive. The entire ceremony made Luo Feng look like a perfect genius fighter. "Do you think you're great?" laughed Lu He quietly. "A bit. I'm starting to worship myself a bit," laughed Luo Feng. In the middle of the ceremony, there were all sorts of singing and dancing performances. The ones that went on stage were all the best in the world. These masters all went on stage and expressed their admiration towards Representative Luo Feng. Some female singers even expressed their admiration. The entire ceremony was planned to last around 2 hours. The investigator ceremony was nearing its end. Representative Luo, a voice carried from behind the seat. Luo Feng turned his head in confusion. A white-haired old man behind him smiled. "It's me, Lu Yin. Old Lu, what are you doing?" Luo Feng clearly remembered that Lu Yin wasn't sitting behind him during the seating arrangement. Clearly, he just switched seats. "Representative Luo, do you remember that before you entered archaeological ruin number 9, you asked us to help you find your parents' relatives?" said Lu Yin. "Oh, right," nodded Luo Feng. His parents' biggest wish was to be able to find their relatives and friends that they lost contact with during the Grand Nirvana period. Back when he just became an examiner, he asked for help. Who would have thought that in the blink of an eye, over a year had passed, and the news only arrived so late? "You guys found it?" Luo Feng asked. "Yes," Lu Yin said apologetically in a low voice. Due to the establishment of the base city, many files were lost. It was indeed difficult to find. Back then, We spent quite a bit of effort to find him, but halfway through, Representative Luo Feng didn't come out from archaeological ruin number 9, so this work was temporarily stopped. Until recently, when Representative Luo Feng's strength greatly increased, we were able to use even more resources to investigate. I understand. Luo Feng nodded. Of course, there was no need to spend too much effort on a dead war god. In the moment Luo Feng became a representative, the country's special forces immediately mobilized even more power to investigate. Their efficiency was much higher. I want to know how many of my parents' cousins are still alive? Asked Luo Feng. His parents were both born after 2000. They were all only children, so the relatives and friends of their parents were naturally their cousins. We found 2 of them, Lu Yin said in a low voice. One is your father's cousin brother, Tang Cheng, and the other is your mother's cousin sister, Gong Xinhua. The mother of your father's cousin brother, Tang Cheng, is still alive, which is your father's aunt, Luo Hongqin. Of course, she's also your great-aunt, Representative Luo. Luo Feng froze. When he was young, his parents often mentioned this aunt, Luo Hongqin, when they talked about their relatives and friends. His aunt wasn't much older than his father, Luo Honghua. She often took his father out to play and even bought food for him. Who would have thought that his aunt was still alive? As for his mother's cousin, Gong Xinhua, Luo Feng heard his mother talk about her before, but she didn't talk much. As for the other relatives, we're still investigating, said Lu Yin. Thanks, Luo Feng nodded. I'll send the information to Representative Luo later, smiled Lu Yin. Indeed, even though many people died during the Grand Nirvana period, there were still quite a few relatives of his parents, so it's unlikely that all of them died. Indeed, 2 families have been found. His parents will definitely be excited when they find out. Distinguished guests, now is the most important moment of this ceremony. Let's welcome Representative Luo Feng, yelled the host. Luo Feng stood up and walked up to the stage amidst the music and under the gaze of everyone in the meeting room. The host slightly bowed towards Luo Feng and continued. Next, we would like to invite the world's #1 person, the head of the Dojo of Limits, Hong, to personally appoint Mr. Luo Feng as the 6th investigator of the Dojo of Limits. Hong, dressed in black, walked up to the stage. Hong stood in front of Luo Feng. Head, Luo Feng looked at Hong. Hong slightly flipped his hand, and the Limit Investigator badge that symbolizes the authority of an investigator appeared in his hand. When Hong carefully looked at Luo Feng, he couldn't help but to be slightly shocked. Luo Feng, you broke through? Under the gaze of the powerful fighters below the stage. The space around Hong and Luo Feng slightly distorted, completely isolating sound. I just broke through not too long ago, smiled Luo Feng. A Star Traveler level spirit reader can fly extremely fast. You also have the soaring shuttle, so your speed should be even more shocking. What's your speed? Hong's eyes flashed. Ed, what Star Traveler level? Luo Feng pretended to be curious. I'll tell you later, followed Hong. What's your current flying speed? Luo Feng didn't hide anything. Over 2,400 m/s few over 2,400 meters per second, much faster than the 4th chairman, Eastbourne. In terms of flying speed, you rank 3rd on Earth. Only slightly slower than me and Thunder God. Hong slightly nodded. After this ceremony, prepare to follow me to Misty Island. With your current speed, staying alive shouldn't be a problem, Misty Island? Luo Feng was even more confused. We'll talk about it after the ceremony. As he said that, Hong passed the Limit Investigator badge in his hand to Luo Feng. Luo Feng solemnly received it. From now on, Luo Feng was one of the 6 great investigators of the Dojo of Limits. P.S. Chapter 1 here. Chapter 207. After the ceremony, the Dojo of Limits World Headquarters, within the metallic passageway of the enormous spaceship. The black-clothed man Hong was in front, while Luo Feng followed behind him. The metallic door automatically opened. After Hong and Luo Feng walked through, the metallic door automatically closed again. Luo Feng, the first time you saw our Dojo of Limits headquarters, did you suspect this enormous spaceship is a real spaceship or a simulated one? The black-clothed man said. Luo Feng slightly froze, saying, I guessed, but it was just a sliver of suspicion. Let me tell you, this is a real interstellar spaceship. Hong said, Really? Luo Feng couldn't help but to be shocked as he observed the passageway. At this time, Hong had already entered a secret room. Luo Feng followed. There was only one large display screen in the room. This is a damaged interstellar battleship. Hong's expression was calm. Back then when I discovered it, it was already damaged and couldn't fly into the universe. However, even if this interstellar battleship is an empty shell, its defense still far surpasses any other headquarter building on Earth. After I had the power, I took it out from underground. With the interstellar battleship as the headquarters of our dojo of limits, even laser cannons can't break through the interstellar battleship. Hong pointed at the display screen. Immediately, the screen lit up and displayed a picture of the universe. This universe isn't as simple as many normal people on Earth think. We humans on Earth are very arrogant sometimes. We haven't even discovered many of the animals and plants on the land. There are even countless animals and plants in the ocean that we haven't discovered yet, which means even Earth itself doesn't understand many things. Some people confidently say that there are no other intelligent life forms in the universe, only humans. Don't you think that's funny? Hong looked at Luo Feng. Luo Feng slightly nodded. Indeed, humans in the ancient times thought that the Earth was flat. Only later did they realize that the world was round. Humans in the ancient times thought that the Earth was the center and the sun revolved around the Earth. Only later did they realize that the Earth revolved around the sun. Humans always think that they have grasped everything when they understand a little. Only later did they realize how wrong they were. They didn't even understand many of the species on Earth and many theories. They just relied on some simple theories to determine the Milky Way galaxy and determined that there was only one intelligent life form on Earth, humans. Very dogmatic. Very funny. Humans have yet to explore much of the boundless ocean. And the universe is countless times wider than the ocean. Billions of times? Billions of times? Far more than that. The infinite universe was not something that humans confined to Earth could judge. Isn't this the same as a frog sitting at the bottom of a well, thinking that the sky is as big as the mouth of the well? Hong shook his head. The civilizations and races in the universe are extremely complicated and mysterious. Luo Feng, look at the screen for the true levels of a fighter and spirit reader. Hong pointed at the screen. The screen immediately displayed the details of the fighter, spirit reader, student, star traveler, star level, universe level. Each level was divided into 9 ranks. And on the screen, there were descriptions of star level warriors, and even universe level warriors' powers recorded on the screen. My God, Luo Feng was completely shocked. From the bald crystal person, he knew that a universe level warrior was terrifying, but looking at the video, it was obviously different. A city was annihilated just like that. Meteorite. What's that, a white dwarf star? Luo Feng was shocked as he looked at the white planet on the screen. The video recorded 2 powerful fighters on the white planet, landing on the planet and killing each other. There was even a description beside the video. It was a white dwarf star with a gravity 300 million times that of Earth. Gravity 300 million times. The highest gravity Luo Feng had in the elite training camp's archaeological ruin gravity room was only 1,000 times. Compared to 300 million times, who knew how far off it was? 300 million times, this wasn't just a simple number. Under such a terrifying gravitational force, even atoms would be crushed. According to Earth's theory, humans couldn't possibly fight on a white dwarf star. Fighting on a white dwarf star. Unbelievable, right? However, how can Earth science research fully understand the human body's true secrets? Can they imagine that there's a miniature planet in the human body? That it can create a magnetic field? A person weighing only a few hundred kilograms, punching out thousands or tens of thousands of tons of force. Does this conform to Earth science? Hong said indifferently, the more you research, the more you realize your own ignorance. Luo Feng agreed with this sentence. This video completely shocked Luo Feng. No matter how much the bald crystal person said, it wasn't as shocking as this video. This is a video of a universe-level fighters battle, the only video that I've obtained that records a universe-level fighters battle. Hong looked at the video, his eyes filled with yearning. A universe-level fighter can cross the universe and battle with a universe interstellar battleship with his body. Even surviving on a white dwarf star, a universe-level fighter can easily wipe out all of Earth's humans like eating a meal. A Star Traveler-level fighter in the universe can barely be a bodyguard or a fighter just to make a living. Only a star-level fighter can be considered a big figure. A universe-level fighter, that's what you call a real tyrant. If you join any universe country, you'll have a large amount of planet territory and control over 100 billion citizens. Even though Hong's voice sounded calm, there was a slight tremble in it. However, this tremble was almost undetectable. Hong turned to look at Luo Feng. Luo Feng's eyes were burning as he watched the video. When will he be able to fight under 300 million times the gravity? However, according to what the bald crystal person said, there's only one universe-level fighter born in countless planets. Luo Feng said Hong in a low voice. Head, Luo Feng looked towards Hong. Your brain expanse is very high. Even though I don't have the means to completely test it, your experience in archaeological ruin number 9 proved this point, said Hong in a low voice. Hong said in a low voice, your spirit reader talent might not be much in the vast universe, but at least on Earth, your spirit reader talent is number 1. Hong stared at Luo Feng. Thunder God and I are the most talented fighters. He and I are the 2 strongest people on Earth. Your spirit reader talent is number 1 on Earth, so I hope that you won't slack off at all. Don't get complacent just because you've become famous on Earth in the vast universe. Us humans on Earth are just natives of a planet. Earth's position depends on us. Even the future of humanity on Earth depends on us. Hong stared at Luo Feng. Luo Feng nodded heavily. Understood, head. At this moment, Luo Feng finally understood why Hong and Thunder God are so much stronger than other people, and why they are still improving without slacking off. On the same day, Hong brought Luo Feng on their auto jets and headed towards the continent of Australia's Misty Island. Even though Luo Feng received the information of his relative from Lu Yinfa, his father's body hasn't recovered yet, so he can't visit his relatives far away. And once his parents find out about this information, they probably won't be able to wait any longer. So Luo Feng didn't give the information to his parents yet. He'll wait until his father's body gets better. He's already waited for 20 years, so half a year doesn't matter. A blood-red triangular fighter jet was in front, and a dark blue triangular fighter jet followed behind. Luo Feng, Hong, and Thunder God were all in the blood-red triangular fighter jet. We've arrived at the Misty Island, said Hong. The 3D projection within the cabin had long displayed the scenery below. Luo Feng looked at the huge lake that had a circumference of 100 kilometers. Around the lake, there were large amounts of saucer fighter jets, triangular fighter jets, etc. There were even a few bases that were currently under construction. Luo Feng couldn't help but to be shocked. Head, this is the Misty Island. Of course it's the Misty Island, nodded Hong. But, Luo Feng looked at the Misty Island displayed in the 3 holograms and was extremely shocked. This Misty Island lake has no more mist, and even the island in the middle of the lake has disappeared. All that's left is a vast expanse of whiteness. No mist, no island in the middle of the lake. Is this the Misty Island he came to before? The coordinates are correct. Luo Feng looked at the coordinates on his tactical communications watch and was even more shocked. Ever since I took away the vine life form on the Misty Island, the mist on the Misty Island has disappeared, said Hong. The coordinates are correct. Hong said, as for the island, it was destroyed in a huge battle not long ago. At least the surface of the island was destroyed. As for the deeper parts of the island, they were all submerged, destroyed an entire island. Luo Feng was shocked. What kind of battle can destroy an island with a circumference of 10 kilometers? It's probably at least at the level of the vine life form. Luo Feng. The white-robed thunder god on the side pointed at the vast white lake. This misty owl lake is very strange. There are a lot of water monsters in there, and they're very strong. Moreover, there is also a terrifying monster with 13 long tentacles among them. It's the third monster emperor we discovered on Earth. Monster emperor? Luo Feng couldn't believe it. That lake, he was once so close to her that he almost lost his life. If there was a monster emperor that was even more terrifying than a king-level monster, he would have died a long time ago. This fog isle is very strange, Hong also said solemnly. A small island has given birth to a large number of vegetation spirits. It could even give birth to a terrifying existence like the vine. Aside from that, the density of monster kings in the water is much higher than in the ocean. There's also a monster emperor. The vine life forms, the flora spirits, and the monster emperors are all gathered here. Almost all the forces on Earth believe that there is a treasure here. After all, the previous discoveries of ancient civilization ruins weren't this exaggerated. The discovery this time is probably going to be earth-shattering. Hong pointed at the surroundings of the 3D projection of the lake. Look, those disc-shaped fighter jets, those bases. They're all from the 5 great countries, the big headquarter cities, and some representative fighters. There are even over 20 laser cannons around the Fog Owl Lake. Hong looked towards Luo Feng. Luo Feng was clearly a bit shocked. Laser cannons that can kill an emperor-level monster. And there are over 20 of them here. Whoever gets the treasure will have to depend on luck, instructed Hong. If you're not interested, you can go back. If you're interested, then set up camp around the Fog Isle. However, I don't have a place to entertain you, so go back to your auto jet. Yes, Luo Feng nodded and directly headed outside. Remember, if you meet that monster emperor, don't fight it head-on. Use your flying speed to escape, instructed Hong, and Luo Feng walked out of the cabin door. Jumping off the fighter jet and landing in the endless wilderness, he looked at the endless lake in front of him. Compared to a year ago, this place has changed too much. The so-called fog is completely gone. Fog Isle, just where are you hiding to attract the attention of all the forces on Earth? Luo Feng exclaimed, and then turned towards his dark blue auto jet. Hong, Thunder God, and the others are all here. Even if there really is a treasure, it's not realistic for me to get it. I'll just watch from the side and learn the second stage of the soaring shuttle's first form. Luo Feng wasn't greedy. Knowing oneself is important. The 5 great countries, the big headquarters cities, the 2 dojo heads are all here. And the monster emperor is also here. Why does Luo Feng have to steal it? Update complete. On the first day of a new month, the fight for the monthly votes is already so intense. Even Tomato has fallen to the back. If he doesn't pull for the monthly votes, he has no other choice. Everyone should have a guaranteed monthly vote. Vote for Tomato. Chapter 208. The auto jet floated high in the air. Luo Feng looked down from above. Small fighter jets were scattered around the lake in a 100 kilometers radius. They were either setting up laser cannons or some special probing and monitoring devices. Large amounts of workers were under the protection of a group of fighters as they carried out their work. At the same time, within 10 li of the lake, not a single living monster could be seen. Other than these small fighter jets, there were 6 large disc-shaped passenger jets. How many people have the countries of the world sent? Luo Feng exclaimed. The power of a country was indeed different. With one command, all sorts of equipment, all sorts of elites were immediately sent over. Command center, it's 03, it's 03. Everything is normal. Everything is normal. Command center, it's 08, it's 08. The direction has been adjusted. The direction has been adjusted. Large amounts of news quickly spread to the command center. A giant aircraft that looked like it was dyed in blood was parked 1,500 meters away from the shore of the lake. This was the base where the Huaxia army was stationed during the battle for Misty Island Lake. Also the command center. Beside the majestic lake, there were a total of 6 huge disc-shaped passenger jets. They came from China, Russia, India, America, the European countries, and the HR Alliance. These large disc-shaped passenger jets were extremely expensive, Normal headquarters cities couldn't afford to build them, nor were they willing to build them. And this time, the 5 great countries and the HR Alliance each deployed a large disc-shaped passenger jet to stop beside the lake as a base. With high defense and mobility, it was indeed the best base. I better focus on training the second level of the soaring shuttle. Luo Feng watched the situation below with interest as he prepared to start training. Suddenly, the quantum computer on his arm vibrated. "Hello." Luo Feng picked up the call. "I'm Jack E. I wonder if I have the honor of inviting Representative Luo Feng for a meeting?" A gentle voice sounded. "Jai, you're here?" Luo Feng's heart skipped a beat. "Luo Feng, you're in midair. You should be able to see the 6 large disc-shaped passenger jets by the lake, right? The blood-red one is the base of our Huaxia country. I'm inside. I've already arranged for people to welcome you at the entrance." Jia, he was very passionate. "I'll be there immediately." Luo Feng immediately flew out of the auto jet, heading towards the blood-red disc-shaped passenger jet. Testing battle strength. Student level 9 and above will be displayed. Luo Feng pointed the quantum computer towards the flying saucer passenger plane below. Suddenly, a series of messages appeared on the screen of the arm guard. "Oh, for counselors? 12 advanced level war gods. My Chinese side is quite strong." Luo Feng was a bit surprised. Luo Feng flew and landed at the entrance of the disc-shaped passenger plane. A beautiful lady slightly bowed. "Representative Luo, please follow me." Following the receptionist into the corridor of the flying saucer passenger plane, the receptionist hastily said, "This corridor has been modified into a laser passageway. Anyone who trespasses will be shot to death immediately. Please wait a moment." Beep, beep, beep. The red warning light at the top of the corridor went off after 3 beeps. "Commander, they're in the top deck." The receptionist pointed at the stairs. Luo Feng raised his head and saw that the metal door at the end of the stairs was closed. 2 war god level guards stood at the door. "All the gatekeepers are war gods," Luo Feng thought to himself. "Greetings, Councilman Luo." The 2 of them bowed slightly. "Hua." The metal door opened. Luo Feng walked straight in. The top deck's circular hall had been completely modified. There weren't any normal passenger plane seats. Instead, the world's most advanced equipment had been installed. Even some equipment excavated from the archaeological ruins had been installed. In the center of the circular hall, there was a slightly protruding circular platform. On the circular metal platform, there were 4 martial artists in combat uniforms. They didn't look young. One of them even had white hair. Luo Feng. "Representative Luo." The 4 smiled passionately as they walked over. The skinniest middle-aged man laughed. "Luo Feng, you broke through?" "Oh, I just broke through a few days ago." Luo Feng nodded. Obviously, when he flew over, the 4 representatives knew that he had officially stepped into the representative level. Immediately, their attitudes were completely different. In the past, the representatives didn't really respect Luo Feng. However, the moment he broke through, before breaking through, he could already kill Li Yao. Once he broke through, how powerful would he be? He was definitely a powerful representative. How could they not be passionate? "Mr. Jia Yi, ever since I found out about Representative Jia's achievements, I've always wanted to meet you. The last time I took over as investigator, I didn't get to meet you. This time, I've finally got my wish." Luo Feng smiled. This wasn't just flattery. Ever since his status rose, he could see many people's records, especially after seeing Jia Yi's records. Luo Feng had always respected this person. Jia Yi was a legendary person. Jia Yi's father and grandfather were all soldiers. Even Jia Yi's grandfather had fought in the 8-year war against the U.S. and Korea. This was a military family. Jia Yi's body was weak and sickly from a young age. He didn't develop well and was skinny. However, during the Great Nirvana period, Jia Yi was Jia Yi. Time and time again, he performed miraculous acts of salvation. Back then, of the Chinese citizens who fled, over 10 million were saved by him. During the Great Nirvana period, the fighters' training wasn't systematic. However, just like that, Jia Yi became the military's first existence surpassing the war god level. During the establishment of the headquarters, his contributions were even greater. He had always been the pride of the military, especially after becoming an existence surpassing the war god level. Jia Yi remained loyal to the country without hesitation. Over the decades of contributions, the number of people he saved numbered over 10 million. Indirectly, even more. Such contributions, along with his strength, allowed Jia Yi to become the current leader of the military. In terms of power, he was definitely one of the top 3 in China. He could be considered as the true leader of the Chinese military. Star Traveler Level 2. If Jia Yi had lived in my era, with someone to guide him in his training, his achievements would have been even higher. Luo Feng really respected this person. He respected him for saving millions of people during the Great Nirvana period. Haha, I too want to meet the new generation of genius fighters of China. Jia Yi smiled. Come, these 3 beside me. You should know them right. Representative Zhu, Representative Tooba, Representative Deng. Luo Feng smiled. The 3 representatives smiled and responded. Luo Feng looked towards the round-shaped hall. There were many instruments within, many of which he had never seen before. He couldn't help but exclaim, "Look at the craftsmanship. It's very unique. It doesn't look like something made on Earth." Some instruments were excavated from the ruins of the ancient civilization. Jia Yi pointed to one of the large screens, ordering, "Send the Misty Island lakes, scan over." "Yes, Commander." Immediately the screen lit up, showing the Misty Island lake. Within the lake there were countless complex silhouettes. These silhouettes, are they all water beasts? Luo Feng looked curiously at the screen. Amazing, all the beasts in the lake have been detected. It's not hard. The 5 great countries can do it. Jia Yi walked in front of the screen, pointing, "Look, this Misty Island lake's average depth is about 300 m. The deepest is close to 1,000 m. However, that monster emperor isn't in the lake. Go down 500 m. Jia Yi ordered. The image on the screen changed, extending all the way to 500 m below the ground. This is... Luo Feng stared wide-eyed, extremely shocked. "This is the monster emperor. We've named it the tentacle beast." Jia Yi pointed to a blurry silhouette on the screen. The silhouette's body was extremely huge. One must know that the screen's depth was 500 m, but the silhouette's width actually took up more than half of the screen. One could imagine its size. The monster emperor tentacle beast has a total of 13 tentacles. Each tentacle's length is about 1,500 m. Jia Yi pointed at the silhouette. "Look, it even has something like a turtle shell on its head. It can instantly retract all 13 tentacles into the shell. Not just that, it has a similar characteristic of the tentacle-type monsters. Cutting off one of its tentacles, it can quickly regrow it." Jia Yi shook his head. "We've been monitoring this Misty Island for a few days, but we haven't found any treasures or secrets. The main thing is that the monster emperor is underground. We don't dare to go down." Luo Feng nodded. "Go underground to kill the monster emperor? Dream on." A few days ago, Hong went down once, cutting off 2 tentacles, but the monster escaped. Jia Yi looked at Luo Feng, revealing a smile. "The treasures that appear are usually very special. Obtaining them depends on luck. In terms of power, Hong alone surpasses all the representatives combined. However, luck." "Luo Feng, are you willing to join us? Help China?" Jia Yi looked at Luo Feng. The other 3 representatives looked at Luo Feng too. Luo Feng was stunned. This Jia Yi was too good at bluffing, coming to the Misty Island Lake to snatch the treasure. He actually used his country's name to rope Luo Feng in. If his country was really in trouble, Luo Feng would definitely help. But this matter, "Mr. Jia Yi, I'm very sorry. The head is here. I can't go against him." Luo Feng laughed awkwardly. "I still have things to do. I'll take my leave first." Since he rejected the others, Luo Feng couldn't stay for too long. Seeing this, Jia Yi smiled and said, "No problem. These days, we're all here. Sometimes we'll come and chat." "All right." Luo Feng smiled, including Jia Yi. The 4 representatives personally sent him off when they saw Luo Feng flying. Luo Feng's position in their hearts rose by a huge amount. Walking out of the base's cabin door, the wind howled outside, the wild grass was low. Attention, all personnel. Our dojo of limits head Hong is about to enter the Misty Island Lake, with the intention of killing the monster emperor in one move. To prevent himself from dying, all non-representative warriors immediately enter your respective bases. Representative-level warriors must not be in the air above the lake. Be careful not to get caught up in the battle. The voice was like rolling thunder. Traveling hundreds of li Luo Feng looked up. The black-clothed person in the air shouting was his royal guard Ice Mountain. The head is going to kill the monster emperor? Luo Feng couldn't help but be shocked. What? Hong is going to kill the monster emperor? Jia Yi and the other representatives behind Luo Feng were shocked. So. On the shore of the lake, a counselor-level expert flew into the air. P.S. Chapter 1 here. Chapter 209. In the dusky sky, 30 silhouettes hovered. All of them were Earth's strongest warriors, existences surpassing the war god level. Luo Feng, Jia Yi, and the other three stood together, hovering a few hundred meters in the air. The last time Hong tried to kill the Grand Emperor, it ended in failure. Even though he managed to injure the Grand Emperor, Hong was injured too. Jia Yi looked at the distant prehistoric-level auto jet. It's only been a few days, Luo Feng. Your inauguration ceremony just ended, and now Hong wants to fight the Grand Emperor again? That's weird. The other three representatives were suspicious too. Everyone cared a lot about their reputation. When Hong fought the Grand Emperor, he failed the first time. Everyone could understand. But if he didn't have any confidence and tried again, people would talk behind his back. I think the head has confidence. Luo Feng creased his eyebrows. Confidence in killing the Grand Emperor? Jia Yi and the other representatives shook their heads. If he had confidence, the two Grand Emperors in the ocean would have been dealt with long ago. While the representatives were watching from high up in the air, large amounts of small fighter jets flew back to their respective bases. Everyone below representative level had returned to their bases. They had all seen the previous battle between Hong and the Grand Emperor. They knew how huge the commotion was the moment they were caught in it. Even the representatives could lose their lives if they weren't careful. Look, Hong and Thunder God. This time Hong and Thunder God are teaming up. In the air, the representatives all had excellent vision. Retreat, retreat. Don't stay above the lake. Stay further away, Luo Feng. It's easy to get caught in the air above the lake. Whether it's your head or the Grand Emperor, a casual attack isn't something we can handle. Don't be careless. Jia Yi and the others said. Luo Feng followed and flew away. Misty Island's lake was quiet. The various bases were monitoring the movements of the lake. More than 30 councilmen dressed in black hovered in the air. Their attention was focused on Hong and Thunder God. The black-clothed Hong and the white-robed, bald monk Thunder God flew side by side towards the center of the lake. Thunder God looked at Hong, saying softly, "Brother Hong, once that tentacle beast enters the lake, it's like a fish in water. But as human martial artists are also greatly weakened in the lake. You didn't succeed last time, but now that you've brought the cloud contact vine, you're confident? When humans were underwater, every movement they made would be obstructed by the currents. The faster the speed, the greater the resistance. Hong and Thunder God were indeed greatly restricted at the bottom of the lake. Beast Emperor, on the other hand, was very comfortable at the bottom of the lake. With the cloud contact vine, I have a 30% chance of killing the tentacle beast. Even if I can't, I'll be able to return safely. Unless it's hiding its strength, I won't be injured again." Hong calmly looked down at the lake. What's more, the strongest thing under the lake is this Beast Emperor. It's the biggest obstacle to us getting the treasure. If we don't kill it, how can we get the treasure? Thunder God was taken aback. Indeed, if he didn't kill the Beast Emperor, he wouldn't be able to safely explore the underground. You're also helping the 5 countries and the HR Alliance. Thunder God laughed. And also helping me. I've said it before, treasures depend on fate. Just like the soaring shuttle, it was clearly in my hands, but I just couldn't use it. In Luo Feng's hands, it was only that powerful. The soaring shuttle is fated with him. Hong revealed a smile. This cloud contact vine isn't originally from Earth. I haven't left Earth, yet this cloud contact vine has fallen into my hands. It's also faded with me. Thunder God laughed. This bald head of mine looks like a monk. You're not bald, but you speak like a monk. You bald head, stay here and watch how I deal with that tentacle beast. The black-clothed Hong finished speaking. His entire body immediately became a black light, fiercely piercing into the lake. The surface of the lake only shook a little. The black-clothed Hong had already penetrated over 300 m deep into the mud and rock layer below. He quickly dived down. The sky gradually darkened. The 6 bases all lit up with lights. 30 silhouettes, like gods, floated in mid-air. Look, it's moving. He stared at the screen of his tactical communications watch. The other 3 representatives and Luo Feng all stared at the screen. On the screen was the huge silhouette of the Beast Emperor, and at this time, the silhouette that had been sitting there motionlessly suddenly moved, as though it had gone mad. 3 of its tentacles were madly moving. At the same time, its entire body swiftly charged upwards. This is a red dot. It represents Hong. He pointed at one of the red dots on one of the tentacles. A human's height wasn't even 2 m, and one tentacle was already 1,500 m long. The difference between the two was shocking. Hong is swiftly moving. The Beast Emperor is also using its tentacles to retaliate. Look, the entire wilderness is shaking. Luo Feng and the others were shocked as they looked at the wilderness that was a few hundred li below. Because of the Beast Emperor's crazy retaliation, the violent tremors were transmitted to the ground, causing the entire wilderness to shake. One of the tentacles has broken. Luo Feng and the others stared at the screen. One of the tentacles had about a third of its length broken. Hong and the Beast Emperor are really fast. The Beast Emperor has already escaped into the lake. Oh, from the underground rock layer to the lake, its speed is indeed many times faster. Hong has also entered the lake from the rock layer to the lake. Even though his speed has increased quite a bit, it's obviously not as fast as the Beast Emperor. But it's clearly not as strong as Beast Emperors. A few of the councilmen watched nervously as they discussed the battle. Not good, retreat. He roared. On the screen, a tentacle fiercely pierced through the surface of the lake. Indeed, while Luo Feng and the others were retreating, in the distant lake, a tentacle with a diameter of close to 20 m, its surface was completely covered in a rock-like wrinkled tentacle fiercely shot up into the sky. The length of the tentacle that came out of the lake was close to 1,000 m long, almost like a train connecting together. A 1,000 m long, 20 m thick tentacle covered in wrinkled rocks, almost like the legendary golden cudgel of Sun Wukong. In an instant it waved about, engulfing everything within a few thousand meters. Rumble, the air exploded, huge waves formed on the surface of the lake. Large amounts of water monsters were thrown into the air. Some were smashed into meat paste. Some died horribly. Some were crippled. A Beast Emperor, with just a wave of its tentacle. It was as though the heavens and earth were collapsing. Compared to the long vine life form from back then, it seems even more exaggerated. Luo Feng could smell the waving of the tentacle that seemed like it could pierce through the sky, emitting an extremely disgusting stench. It was similar to the stench of seafood and also the smell of earthworms. It was extremely pungent, making one want to vomit. Even though it was disgusting, the power of the tentacle was shocking. Even with our Black God sets, if we were to be touched by this tentacle, there's an 80 to 90% chance that we'll lose our lives. He looked at Luo Feng. Luo Feng, I advise you to put on an SS grade battle uniform on top of your Black God set. No wonder you're all wearing battle uniforms. Luo Feng nodded. Jia and the other 3 representatives were all wearing SS grade battle uniforms on the outside and Black God sets on the inside. With 2 layers of protection, it wasn't just Jia and the other 3 representatives, the Star Traveler warriors floating in the air in the distance. Almost all of them had the same protection. Against this Beast Emperor, wearing the SS grade battle uniform definitely increases my chances of survival. Luo Feng nodded. the SS gray battle uniform. Even though it couldn't completely disperse the force of impact to the entire body, with the uniform, it could still reduce quite a bit of the impact. Luo Feng and the other four stared at the screen of their tactical communications watches. The Beast Emperor was huge. Naturally, they could see it clearly. As for Hong, he was just a red dot of light. Hong has rushed to the Beast Emperor's turtle shell. What an intense fight. Rumble. A human silhouette rushed out from the lake. It was the black, clothed man Hong. At this time, Hong was wielding a silver long spear, his eyes like lightning. The surrounding 100m area was completely covered in black, almost like a god within this domain. Hong wielded the long spear, once again piercing through the surface of the water and diving into the depths. The second tentacle has broken. Zhu Shi beside couldn't help but exclaim. Hong has attached himself to the Beast Emperor's turtle shell. What's going on? What's going on? Luo Feng and the other four were shocked because the red dot representing Hong on the display screen had disappeared. Luo Feng and the others looked at Jia Yi. Jia, he shook his head, confused. I'm not sure. This device has never been used before. Usually, as long as there's life, it'll be detected. There's life? We can't detect Hong. Could it be that he's dead? Representative Ta Ba beside exclaimed softly. Look at the lake. Luo Feng shouted. Immediately, the few of them turned to look at the distant lake, only to see the already rumbling lake suddenly explode. Tentacles that seemed like they were about to pierce through the skies. A total of 7 or 8 tentacles broke through the surface of the water, crazily waving and rolling. Without any pattern, it was purely a crazy dance. Large amounts of water monsters were affected, their blood dyeing the lake red. Nah! An ear-piercing and sorrowful sound resounded from the ground, causing the ground to tremble. So ear-piercing. The 30-star traveler warriors floating in mid-air couldn't help but cover their ears, their faces filled with pain. The tentacles that were originally filled with endless power began to slow down, after which they fell powerlessly into the lake. Even 2 tentacles landed in the wilderness beside. Those heavy tentacles smashed into the ground, forming 2 deep trenches, quickly filling up the lake. It's dead. The Beast Emperor Tentacle Beast is dead. Look on the screen, the Beast Emperor silhouette is getting dimmer and dimmer. Its life force is rapidly decreasing. So fast, so fast. It's gone. Under the watchful eyes of Luo Feng and the others, the huge silhouette of the Beast Emperor actually disappeared. A red light was extremely glaring. That was Hong. The lake's surface is rippling again. The 30 or so star travelers who were floating in the air all looked at the vast lake in unison. They saw the surface of the lake shake, and then a tentacle full of wrinkled rocks popped out of the water, followed by the black-clothed man, Hong. Hong's right hand actually had a tens of meters long vine wrapped around the tentacle. Drag! The black-clothed man, Hong, flew into the sky, including the tentacle. A body length of over 3,000 m was completely dragged out of the water, almost like a black floating island, appearing in the air above the lake. The 30-star traveler warriors, Earth's 5 great countries, the HR Alliance, the various headquarters cities' commanders, soldiers, and workers were all stunned as they watched this scene. At the same time, this scene was transmitted to the entire Earth's various countries and organizations. Everyone was silent. P.S. 2 chapters completed. Today's first chapter was even later, tomorrow's third. At the same time, Tomato also pulled his monthly votes and recommendation votes. Chapter 210. The moment they saw the over 3,000 m long body of the Grand Emperor, almost everyone from the countries gathered around the lake, including the incomparably strong star traveler warriors, all felt their hearts stop beating and their blood stop flowing. It was unbelievable. It was too exaggerated. In the air above the lake, Hong dragged the Grand Emperor's body towards the wilderness and began to descend, letting the Grand Emperor's body land on the ground. Plop! The thick, 1,500-meter-long tentacles fell heavily on the wilderness, causing the entire wilderness to shake as if there was an earthquake. So strong. Luo Feng looked at the black-clothed Hong in midair. Even though Hong's face was pale, he didn't seem to be afraid. However, his eyes were bright, with a sense of joy. Hong floated in mid-air and surveyed his surroundings, almost like an emperor surveying his territory. No one dared to meet Hong's gaze. Invincible in the star, traveler level? I didn't expect him to be able to kill a sea-level Grand Emperor in the water. Luo Feng was shocked. Invincible in the Star Traveler level only meant he wouldn't be defeated by other Star Traveler level opponents. However, it didn't mean he could kill all Star Traveler level opponents. Just like how the high-level Horde leader's strength and speed were superior to the advanced-level War God level humans, the monsters, due to the difference in race, naturally had the advantage in strength and other aspects. The Grand Emperor, in terms of body strength, it far exceeded Hong. And fighting in its best environment, the water, if Hong didn't have his own domain, any other Star Traveler level 6 fighter would probably be killed immediately. Hong had his own domain. He was known to be invincible in the Star Traveler level. If it was on land or in the air, he could kill his opponents. However, the moment he entered the water, his strength would decrease, while the monsters were much stronger than on land. One weakened, the other strengthened. Hence, in the water, Hong couldn't do anything to the Grand Emperor. And this time, with the Cloud Contact Vine, along with his grasp of the timing during the battle. Success. Grand Emperor. One day, I'll be able to personally kill a Grand Emperor. Luo Feng looked at the distant, godlike Hong, his heart filled with endless desire. While Luo Feng and the other warriors were shocked by Hong's accomplishments, the governments of the various countries on Earth were itching. The Grand Emperor's corpse. This is Earth's first Grand Emperor corpse, a priceless treasure. Mr. President, our research team has never obtained a part of the Beast Emperor's body. I request, Mr. President, to negotiate with the Dojo of Limits to obtain a part of the Beast Emperor's body. I suggest that we immediately buy a portion of the Emperor corpses. We must first research the bone structure, skin structure, etc. of the Emperor corpses. Our HR Alliance is the world's largest weapon supplier. This time, we must research even more powerful weapons and battle uniforms to continue occupying the high-end market. The 5 countries, the HR Alliance, and many others were all eyeing the corpse. One had to know that back in the day, the first King-class monster corpse had allowed humans to invent SS-class combat suits and weapons, and even more advanced SSS-class combat suits and weapons. However, in terms of cost-performance ratio, SSS-class combat suits and weapons were too expensive. It was purely due to the accumulation of expensive materials, so almost no one bought SSS-class combat suits. If he had that kind of money, he might as well buy a Black God set. As for the first Beast King corpse, if he studied it carefully, he might be able to obtain great results. It was already dark. In the center of the Australian continent, in a vast wilderness, a corpse the size of a small mountain laid there. A black-clothed Hong stood beside it. Compared to the Emperor's corpse, he was as small as an ant. Lu Ha. Hong turned on his communicator. Head. Investigator Lu Ha, who was far away in Hong Ning headquarters city, replied. Dispatch the A1 research team and 2 special War God teams immediately. Hurry to Misty Island as fast as possible and meet me. Hong ordered. Yes, Head. Lu Ha replied. Not only that, Hong immediately ordered his 3 royal guards, beasts, to rush over. This way, his 3 royal guards would all be gathered here. At crucial times, Hong trusted these 3 royal guards the most. Yes, Master. A low and thick voice resounded from the Tactical Communications Watch. Brother Hong. A voice filled with ridicule rang out. Hong, whose face was pale and without a trace of blood, turned his head to look coldly. The person who came was the white-robed, bald Thunder God. Thunder God smiled and raised his head to look at the huge corpse beside him. Brother Hong, I really admire you. You actually killed the Beast King. Hong only nodded. Damn, not humble at all. Thunder God couldn't help but blink helplessly. Hong looked at Thunder God, a bit helpless. The 2 of them were born before the Grand Nirvana period. Thunder God was mixed blood, with Chinese and Indian blood. Thunder God's father was a yogi who once went to India to learn yoga. In India, he met Thunder God's mother. Then Thunder God's father returned to China. Thunder God had a mischievous personality since he was young, but under the influence of movies, he really liked Chinese kung fu. Under his father's tutelage, he had some achievements in yoga, adding on the fact that he worked hard to learn Chinese kung fu. The name Mad Thunder was very famous in the martial arts circle. Many people in the Chinese martial arts circle knew of this mixed-blood youth who really liked to challenge. When the Grand Nirvana period came, Thunder God combined Chinese martial arts and yoga to create the 9-stage Thunderblade. Different from Thunder God, Hong was an assassin before the Grand Nirvana period. An assassin and a clown, a strange combination. Even though their personalities were different, they had one thing in common. They were both very strict with themselves. Being taught yoga by his father from a young age, Thunder God, of course, could endure hardship. Needless to say, Hong's experience as an assassin made his personality colder. During the Grand Nirvana period, the two's strength increased by leaps and bounds. Adding on a few fortuitous encounters and their own talents, their strength increased even faster. In terms of body foundation, Thunder God, who had received excellent training since he was young, was clearly stronger than Hong. And Thunder God, who had systematic training, his speed of improvement had always been shocking. Body strength, speed, strength, and the efficiency with which he used his body, Thunder God surpassed Hong in all of them. Hong only had one thing. His comprehension was ridiculously strong. He had his own domain at the Star Traveler level. Naturally, he became number one in the world. Two people, one created the Dojo of Limits, the other created the Thunder Dojo. Even though the people under them were always competing, Hong and Thunder God didn't stop them. The two of them had gone through life and death situations together. Of course, they had a good relationship. The fighters under them competing with each other was beneficial to both sides. Brother Hong, you've already killed this Emperor Beast. There's still two more in the ocean. Can you kill them? Thunder God asked. If we can kill them, it'll be much easier for us in the future. It's not the same. Hong shook his head. This lake is only 300 meters deep. Even though it's large, to that Emperor Beast, one tentacle is 1,500 meters. In other words, in this lake, it's very hard for it to even flip its body. The depth of the lake limits its abilities. Plus, it just became an Emperor Beast not long ago, so its efficiency with which it uses its body is rather low. That's why I was able to kill it in one move. And the two old fellows in the ocean, they both became Emperor level during the Grand Nirvana period, and then slowly grew to Emperor level. Those two Emperor Beasts experienced many battles in the ocean before they became Emperors. I don't know where this tentacle beast came from. It suddenly appeared. It has little experience, and its control over its strength is far from those two old fellows. Hong shook his head. Thunder God nodded. No rush. Our strength is much stronger than those two. They definitely won't dare come ashore. Hong said, wait until the day we step into the star level, or if my cloud contact vine grows even stronger, then I'll have a chance. The cloud contact vine is still very weak right now. Don't mention the cloud contact vine to me. Just mentioning it makes me jealous. Thunder God couldn't help but mutter, damn, to be able to find a cloud contact vine on our Earth. Your luck is really heaven-defying. Cloud contact vine. It was indeed a priceless treasure in the vast universe. The price of a cloud contact vine was unbelievable. It was because of the universe knowledge that he knew the value of the cloud contact vine. Back then, Hong was so excited, even willing to give his spirit weapon to Luo Feng. Because from Hong's point of view, the spirit weapon was far from the cloud contact vine. Luo Feng, gather my place. Luo Feng received Hong's call. Yes, head. Luo Feng flew towards Hong's location. Looking down at the huge Emperor Beast corpse, Luo Feng couldn't help but feel suspicious. In terms of strength, the head alone could kill the Emperor Beast. Why was he gathering him now? To Hong, having a few more representatives to help shouldn't make much of a difference. So, Luo Feng landed. Hong was standing beside the Emperor Beast's corpse. Beside him were his personal guards Allure and Ice Mountain. Head. Luo Feng landed. Luo Feng. Hong turned to look at Luo Feng, slightly nodding. I've already killed the Emperor Beast. The biggest problem in exploring the lake has been solved. The various countries' governments, the HR Alliance, etc., and representatives, some have already begun exploring the lake. There are many more people who are doing preparatory work. I've already arranged for many people to come. Right now, the three of you immediately begin diving into the lake. Search for the treasures within. Hong emphasized, the moment you discover a treasure, take it if you can. If you can't, immediately inform me. Yes, Head. The Golden Mast, Allure, and Ice Mountain guards, along with Luo Feng, immediately complied. Of course, the moment you discover a treasure, the moment you successfully acquire it, the person who discovers the treasure will receive 30% of the reward. The person who obtains the treasure will also receive 30% of the reward. The last 40% will belong to the dojo. Hong emphasized, which means whoever discovers and obtains the treasure will receive 60% of the reward. Allure, the guards, and Luo Feng all nodded. Being able to get 60% was already not bad. After all, once they obtained the treasure, they wouldn't have to be afraid of others stealing it, because they had Hong as their backer. Good, the three of you can leave now. Hong ordered. Yes. Luo Feng, Allure, and Ice Mountain complied. They immediately became 3 beams of light and rushed towards the distant lake. In other directions, there were quite a few representatives. Occasionally 1 or 2 would appear and fly towards the lake. A huge excavation that attracted the attention of the entire world had officially begun. P.S. Chapter 1 has ended. Chapter 2:11. Today is the second chapter. Luo Feng, Allure, and Ice Mountain's outfits were quite similar. They all wore battle uniforms on the outside and Black God sets on the inside. However, Allure and Ice Mountain had an extra golden mask. Luo Feng put on the battle uniforms and boots after he returned to the auto jet after watching the battle between Hong and the Monster Emperor. The three of them flew side by side above the lake. Let's split up and search, said Royal Guard Allure. All right. Ice Mountain's voice was as cold as ever. All right, Luo Feng nodded. This misty lake has a circumference of at least 100 miles, such a large area. And the Monster Emperor was 3,500 meters underground, so the average depth of the lake is only 300 meters. Maybe the treasure is still at the bottom of the lake, in the mud, soil, or rock layers. Searching for it is extremely difficult. Luo Feng agreed with splitting up. Compared to the larger underground rock layer, I'll check this lake first. Luo Feng couldn't help but to glance into the distance. He saw a silhouette charging into the lake from a few thousand meters away. It was clearly another representative fighter. The true treasure of the Misty Lake is indeed alluring Putone. Water splashed up as Luo Feng directly charged into the lake. He wore his battle uniform on the outside and his Black God set on the inside. He stood on the soaring shuttle and had 18 blades protecting his body, ready to attack at any moment. Luo Feng was armed to the teeth. Treasure. I don't even know what treasure it is, so how do I find it? Luo Feng's head hurt. As of now, none of the forces know what treasure it is or how many there are, so they can only search blindly. Thankfully, I'm a spirit reader. My spiritual force can spread out 200 meters around me and search. Spiritual force scanning is much more effective than radar scanning. And just like that, Luo Feng began his bloody treasure search. Last time he came to this misty lake, Luo Feng almost lost his life. And this time, Luo Feng can easily kill the so-called high-level horde leader monster with just a thought. Extremely easy. 32 minutes. With an astonishing speed, Luo Feng scanned over 80% of the lake. On the way, he killed over 1,000 monsters and 13 horde leader monsters. Among them, there were 2 high-level horde leader monster materials. Luo Feng used his spiritual force to put them into the bag formed by the Black God set on his back. It sure is easy for a star traveler level spirit reader to earn money on Earth. Luo Feng, who gave up on the other horde leader monster materials, sighed to himself. Luo Feng, have you discovered anything in the lake? A voice came through the tactical communications watch. It was Enchanting's voice. I've already explored more than 36% of the lake. Nothing. I haven't discovered anything. Luo Feng said softly. I've scanned 80% of the area. In terms of probing ability, Star Traveler level warriors were definitely stronger than war gods, because even Star Traveler level warriors could release their genetic energy. For example, Senator Farr's body was surrounded by flames. For example, when Lan Ran and Zheng in Headquarter City tried to stop Luo Feng from killing Li Yao, the temperature of the surrounding air plummeted and the fountain froze in an instant. Planetary state martial artists could control the energy within a certain range to search for treasures. Of course, Star Traveler level spirit readers have the strongest probing ability. Next are Star Traveler level fighters, then War God level spirit readers, and finally War God level fighters. War God level fighters can only pitifully look around with their eyes. Their efficiency is the lowest. You've scanned 80%, I've scanned 36%, and Ice Mountain has scanned 41%. None of us found anything. With the three of us combined, I estimate that more than 95% of the area has been explored. I think we should go underground and explore communicated enchanting. I agree, replied Luo Feng. Whoosh. At the same time, Enchanting, Ice Mountain, and Luo Feng, the 3-star Traveler level fighters, swiftly rushed into the sky. They broke through the surface of the water and flew into the sky. After that, they flew towards the misty island ruins in the center of the lake. Putong! Putong! Luo Feng watched with his own eyes as War God level fighters jumped into the lake from their fighter jets. Even war gods are here to search for treasures. Seriously. Luo Feng shook his head. Good thing they aren't stupid and entered the soil of the island to search for war gods to encounter horde leader monsters in the middle of the lake is basically a joke. And the area that those war gods jumped into was an island in the middle of the lake not long ago. However, after a huge battle, quite a bit of the surface of the island was shaved off, and the rest of the island is under the water. You can't see it with your naked eye. Those war gods can quickly drill into the soil after jumping down. They can drill into the soil and rocks to search for treasures. It's rare to meet monsters in the rock layer, and even if they do, they're usually very weak. The soil and rock layer underground cover an even wider area, and the difficulty of exploring them is much harder than the water, said Enchanting coldly. Same old method. We'll split up. I'll go first. Luo Feng decisively dove into the surface of the lake. Luo Feng was decisive and directly dove into the surface of the lake. After a mere 8 to 9 meters deep, Luo Feng plunged into the soil and rocks. His head was up and his feet were down. His feet automatically extended into sharp points and easily pierced through the soil and rocks below as he fell. Underground. It was completely dark. Searching for treasures underground might be difficult for others. Luo Feng's spiritual force spread out. Since he doesn't know what the treasures are, plants, minerals, life, or archaeological ruins. Since he doesn't know and doesn't have a target, his search is a bit slow. 3 hours later, at a depth of 2,000 to 3,000 meters underground, there was an underground river. The water was extremely turbulent, and with a punk, Luo Feng crashed through the rocks and fell into the river. This is the place last time I ate the 1,000-year willow heart. It was right next to this river. How nostalgic. Right now, I'll dig a hole and rest a bit. Luo Feng easily dug out a cave at a high point beside the underground river, immediately closing his eyes and sitting cross-legged. 3 hours of continuous exploration, with himself as the center, all around him in a 200 m radius. Even with enough spirit reading, his spirit was still very tired. What's that smell? Luo Feng, who was resting cross-legged, suddenly sniffed. A faint smell of rice entered his nose. The smell of rice? Luo Feng fiercely opened his eyes. Treasure. It might very well be a treasure. Having the smell of rice 2,000 to 3,000 meters underground is a very strange thing, and this strange thing might even be related to the treasure of the Misty Island. Luo Feng sniffed with his nose and dove into the underground river like a fish. Occasionally, he would pop out of the river and sniff carefully. It's this direction. The smell is coming from this direction. Once he confirmed the direction, Luo Feng immediately followed the direction of the underground river and swiftly approached. As he got closer, the smell of rice became easier to smell. Rumble, Luo Feng followed this underground river and actually arrived at an even wider underground river. It seemed like the underground river just now was just a branch of this wider underground river. There are water monsters Luo Feng scanned with his spiritual force and found. There aren't many of them, but most of them are quite strong. Luo Feng wasn't surprised at all. Back when he was in the Chinese base, Luo Feng saw the map on the screen. The average depth of the lake was 300 meters, and the deepest part was almost 1,000 meters. However, this was just the main data on the map. In reality, there are all sorts of tunnels between the lake and the underground. For example, if a monster the size of a monster emperor charged from 3,500 meters underground to the lake, sometimes it would go to the lake, and sometimes it would go underground. Because when a monster emperor moves like this, it will also create a tunnel that leads deep underground. On the screen, there were quite a few water monsters in the tunnel-shaped area. So Luo Feng wasn't surprised at all. The smell is coming from that side. Luo Feng swiftly flew up. Whoosh! Around 3 meters above the wide underground river, Luo Feng teleported to around 50 meters away. He stood on the surface of the lake and looked ahead. Above the dark underground lake, a translucent white crystal floated in midair. Because of this, the originally dark underground area had a weak light. This translucent white crystal was also emitting waves of rice fragrance, which made people want to drool. However, a large amount of water monsters in the underground lake stared at this white crystal. One of them even instantly jumped up and swallowed it. Luo Feng just saw the white crystal and then saw it get swallowed by a water monster. It happened in the blink of an eye. Something's wrong. Luo Feng didn't have time to worry about it. As he looked at the scene in front of him with confusion, why didn't the other water monsters jump up to fight for it? Quite a few of them are horde leader-level monsters, so their intelligence isn't lower than humans. They aren't stupid, so there must be a reason Shishi, in the river, the body of the shell-type water monster that jumped up and swallowed the white crystal started emitting a white light. Its entire body seemed to be expanding as it howled in pain. With a pung sound, the shell-type monster exploded. Its broken body and blood flew everywhere. An extremely alluring white crystal was still swaying as it floated above the surface of the lake. A group of water monsters surrounded the white crystal. All of them were extremely greedy, but none of them dared to swallow it. Luo Feng took in a deep breath as he saw this. That white crystal looked extremely mysterious, and its smell naturally made people drool. Who would have thought that it would be such a poison that you'll die after eating it? There's actually so many broken bodies in this lake. Luo Feng scanned with his spiritual force. Looks like quite a few monsters died from eating it at this time. It's a treasure, Misty Island treasure, an English exclamation rang. Two silhouettes came explosively from different directions. It's my Luo Feng's eyes flashed. With a thought, his spiritual force formed a formless hand and grabbed towards it. Luo Feng didn't dare to use his real hand to grab this strange thing. Pong! A huge white hand that was as big as a basin appeared out of nowhere and grabbed towards the crystal. It clashed with Luo Feng's spiritual force, and both of them directly collapsed. Luo Feng, this belongs to me, M.O. Henderson. Hurry and move away, an awkward Chinese roared. Third chairman, Ice Emperor, M.O. Henderson. Luo Feng's mind flashed through this person's information. Ice Emperor M.O. Henderson, one of the 2/3 stage star traveler fighters on Earth. He was born in America and is currently the strongest fighter in the American government. Because his control over ice and snow has reached perfection, people call him the Ice Emperor. He's a super powerful fighter second only to Hong and Thunder God. This belongs to the dojo of limits. You dare to steal it? Are you looking to die? Luo Feng roared. The soaring shuttle immediately floated in front of him. ready to unleash his ultimate move at any time. P.S. That's the second chapter. Continue writing the third chapter. At the same time, he pulled his monthly votes and recommendation votes. Chapter 212. In the underground river, 3-star traveler warriors stood in mid-air. Luo Feng, who are you talking to? A thick voice resounded. A man with a body built like a lion, almost like an emperor high above, looked coldly at Luo Feng. M.O. Henderson, I discovered this thing first. Please move aside. Luo Feng's expression was equally cold, not retreating a single step. Very good. Ice Emperor's face revealed a smile of anger. It's been a very long time since someone has dared to speak to me like that. A 20-year-old brat like you dares to be so presumptuous in front of me. Today, I'll teach you a lesson on behalf of your head. Saying that, his gaze turned to another person not too far away. That representative looked at M.O. Henderson, then at Luo Feng, squeezing out a smile. You too. Peace is the most important. I won't be participating in this treasure. So, he retreated as fast as lightning. I'll let you make the first move, finish the battle within 3 seconds. That old punk will definitely inform the others outside. Finish it quickly, the Frost Emperor, M.O. Henderson, said indifferently. Arrogant indeed. 3 seconds? Even 30 seconds isn't enough. Luo Feng extended his hand and pointed at M.O. Henderson. I hope you don't lose even one move. Humph. M.O. Henderson snorted coldly within. He was the third chairman. Did he rely on other people's compliments to get there? Even the Star Traveler Level 2 Spirit Reader, Eastbourne, lost to him. Why would he be afraid of a Spirit Reader that had just stepped into the Star Traveler level? He was the number 1 person in America. He wasn't someone to be messed with. Mountain Drill. Luo Feng's gaze was cold. The soaring shuttle immediately split into 365 blades, reassembling in an instant. It became a conical shape, the surface of which was a spiral-shaped weapon. The soaring shuttle's first form, Mountain Drill. The speed at which it split and reassembled was so fast that even a star traveler couldn't see it clearly. This was one of the basics of soaring. 12 golden threads immediately wrapped around the tip of the Mountain Drill. Activate. An ear-piercing sonic boom rang out, and space itself seemed to be disturbed. A beam of golden light instantly pierced through the 50-meter distance between the two, bringing with it a violent whirlwind. The Frost Emperor's expression changed drastically, and he punched out with his right fist as fast as lightning. The specially made glove on his fist had a ferocious sword spike. But the mountain drilling all was too fast. Frost Emperor M.O. Henderson's fist barely brushed past the mountain drill. The mountain drill changed its trajectory slightly and pierced the Frost Emperor's abdomen. The mountain drill was still madly drilling. The piercing power of the mountain drilling all was enough to pierce through the Frost Emperor's SS grade battle suit and tear it apart. Then, it landed on the Ice Mountain Emperor's Black God set. The powerful penetrative power was reduced by 90%, and the remaining 90% was spread all over the Ice Mountain Emperor's body. Oomph! The Ice Emperor snorted. His body involuntarily retreated 7 to 8 meters, his face slightly pale. What a strong body. Luo Feng was shocked. However, everything was still within his expectations. If the Star Traveler Level 3 didn't have the Black God set, he would probably be killed by him. But with the Black God set, it would be very hard to kill. Very good. You injured me. Frost Emperor M.O. Henderson's gaze was cold. Now you're too slow, you can't hit me. Luo Feng grinned at M.O. Henderson. Become a target. Luo Feng shouted coldly. Immediately, the mountain drilling all in front of Luo Feng became a beam of golden light. An ear-piercing sound resounded once again, creating a tornado-like energy wave. M.O. Henderson didn't arrogantly stand there and take it head-on anymore. He swiftly retreated and waved both his fists. A low clashing sound. The tip of the mountain drilling all actually clashed with one of M.O. Henderson's fists. M.O. Henderson's face went pale again, his body retreating a few meters. The mountain drilling all speed. Looks like even a Star Traveler Level 3 can barely block it. Luo Feng's mind swiftly went through many thoughts. Luckily, the mountain drilling all's powerful penetrative power doesn't rely on speed, but on the peculiar tearing penetrative power created by the golden threads. The mountain drilling all, 20 meters to the left of M.O. Henderson, once again resounded with a heart-palpitating sound. Shio! The golden light clashed towards M.O. Henderson. The third clash. M.O. Henderson couldn't help but retreat. Blood leaked from the corner of his mouth. How can this Luo Feng's attack power be so strong? Even Eastbourne isn't much different from him. What's different from Eastbourne is that his weapon speed is too fast. It's much faster than Eastbourne's control of his weapons. The mountain drilling all attacked M.O. Henderson again and again. Due to the mountain drilling all's terrifying force and shocking speed, M.O. Henderson couldn't completely dodge it. This resulted in him being forced back a few meters every time he was hit. In that short period of time, the mountain drilling all would attack again. It forced M.O. Henderson to have no way of finding the time. Indeed, as Luo Feng had said, M.O. Henderson had become a target. What do I do? What do I do? M.O. Henderson swiftly thought. As the world's third strongest, he hadn't faced such a predicament in a long time. This Luo Feng Punk's attack power was comparable to Eastbourne's. Even through the Black God set, it was enough to injure him lightly, and the attack speed was much faster than Eastbourne's control of his weapons. He could barely block it with his hands, but his body couldn't move at all. If he couldn't dodge, he would be hit. After being hit, his body couldn't help but be forced back. And in that short period of time, the mountain drilling all's new attack came. If this continued, the attacks would be endless. Are you going to move or not? Luo Feng shouted loudly. A sound that M.O. Henderson hated so much resounded. I'll risk it. M.O. Henderson was hit 12 times in a short 10 seconds. Finally, he clenched his teeth and chose the stupidest yet most effective method. The 13th mountain drilling all became a golden light and once again attacked the pitiful target, Ice Emperor M.O. Henderson. And this time, M.O. Henderson didn't use his fist to block, but his palms. The two black palms on his left and right had long been waiting in front of him. When the golden light hit, Chi-Chi, the black palms suddenly expanded. Pung! The moment the golden light hit the black palms, the black skin of the black palms immediately closed up. Like a black cover, it actually trapped the soaring shuttle within. Pooh! M.O. Henderson couldn't help but spit out a mouthful of fresh blood onto the river below. Relying on the extension ability of the Black God set, it was possible to trap the soaring shuttle within an instant of attack. However, the reason why M.O. Henderson didn't want to use this method was because every time he was hit, his body couldn't help but be forced back. This was actually an instinctive way to reduce the impact and damage to his body. And when he was forced back, M.O. Henderson would also move his body to the side to avoid the soaring shuttle. And trapping the soaring shuttle meant taking the full brunt of the damage. Even though the impact only increased by 50%, once it reached a critical point, every bit of increase in impact would cause a lot more damage to the body. Just this one attack was comparable to the previous 10 attacks. Luo Feng, M.O. Henderson, who was trapped in the soaring shuttle, spat out blood. His eyes were about to spit fire, and his mouth was full of fresh blood. He fiercely stepped on a mountain wall beside him. Rumble! With the explosive power of a Star Traveler level 3-stage fighter's legs, M.O. Henderson's speed instantly rose to over 2,000 meters per second. Of course, he immediately let go of the soaring shuttle. If he didn't, the moment the soaring shuttle moved, he would be at a huge disadvantage. It's too fast. Luo Feng immediately rushed upwards. There were rocks above him. The rocks were as weak as tofu. Luo Feng directly rushed into the rock layer. Once a spirit reader is in the rock layer, in terms of agility and speed, a fighter can't compare at all. Luo Feng, come out if you have the ability. Ice Emperor M.O. Henderson was completely infuriated. He hasn't been at such a disadvantage in a long time. After being hit so many times, in the end, he had to endure the heavy injuries to gain the upper hand. If you have the ability, come in. Luo Feng's voice resounded. Whoosh! From a few hundred meters away, Luo Feng's body smashed through the rock wall. With a shocked expression, he looked at the white crystal floating above the river. At this time, it had already been swallowed by a water monster. When Luo Feng was escaping earlier, he noticed a water monster, earth dragon, swallowing the white crystal. However, Luo Feng didn't think much of it. He believed that earth dragon would explode and the white crystal would return. However, Luo Feng's spiritual force spread out and discovered that the earth dragon wasn't dead. What's going on? M.O. Henderson's expression changed. You don't even know that a treasure was eaten by a water monster. Luo Feng mocked. However, he was carefully looking at the earth dragon in the river. The earth dragon was actually a type of earthworm that evolved into one of the most terrifying types. They were usually at the horde leader level. Among the emperor level monsters, there was even an earth dragon king. M.O. Henderson looked coldly at Luo Feng. After being hit by Luo Feng over 10 times, it was like a normal person getting kicked over 10 times. How could he not feel hatred? What's more, M.O. Henderson was the high and mighty Ice Emperor. Others couldn't even speak disrespectfully to him, much less be humiliated like this. The strong could endure humiliation, but they definitely couldn't forget. The only thing was, Luo Feng's weapon made him wary. At this time, the two stared at the earth dragon in the lake. The earth dragon's body was constantly expanding. There was a faint white glow. The rice fragrance was extremely thick. It was the source of the earth dragon's fragrance. The white crystal must have been eaten by the earth dragon. M.O. Henderson wasn't a spirit reader. How could he constantly pay attention to the treasure? The monsters didn't eat it earlier. M.O. Henderson wasn't worried about them. He thought that if they wanted to eat it, they would have done it long before he and Luo Feng arrived. So his only opponent was Luo Feng. Suddenly, the 50-meter-long earth dragon fiercely raised its head and howled. Chi-Chi, a single horn grew out of its forehead. The earth dragon that was originally glowing with white light suddenly began to convulse. Its body swiftly expanded. Single horn. M.O. Henderson was shocked. Emperor level. Luo Feng was shocked too. A middle-level horde leader-level monster ate the white crystal and directly evolved into an emperor-level monster? How is that possible? Luo Feng was completely shocked. Suddenly, a thought flashed through his mind. Back then, there was no fame at all. Did the emperor tentacle monster that suddenly appeared eat the white crystal and evolve? P.S. 3 chapters completed. Chapter 2:13. Tomato would be very busy today and tomorrow. He could only think a way to write a chapter every day. Everyone was understanding. Chapter 2:14. Luo Feng was very clear, with Hong's and Thunder God's monitoring of Earth. Even the stronger Emperor-level monsters have been recorded long ago. And the birth of an Emperor-level monster, logically speaking, is a long and arduous process of growth. But a monster Emperor suddenly popping out from some inland lake. Unbelievable. This was also the reason why Hong, Thunder God, and the entire world's countries were paying close attention to this place. My God. M.O. Henderson's gaze froze, completely shocked. Luo Feng also carefully stared at the evolving Earth Dragon King, only to see the Earth Dragon King's long body rapidly expanding. Its width, length, and color were all changing. Howl. This newly born Earth Dragon King raised its head and let out a painful howl. The horn on its forehead was growing at a rate of about 1 centimeter per second. Its strength was soaring. This kind of soaring speed made even Luo Feng, who had consumed the 1,000-year willow heart and dragon blood, feel shocked. It was like reaching the heavens in one step. Head, it's me, Luo Feng. Luo Feng knew the severity of the situation. Luo Feng, what's the matter? Hong's voice was still cold and calm. Where I am now, there was a strange white crystal that was swallowed by a middle-level horde leader-level Earth Dragon. Now, this Earth Dragon, in a short span of 10 seconds, directly evolved to the Emperor level. It's still in the process of evolving. Luo Feng's expression was serious, quickly reporting. Stay where you are. I'll be there immediately. Hong's voice had a rare sense of urgency. At the same time, China had stationed a huge saucer passenger plane on the shore of Misty Island's lake. The other representatives had already gone to explore, leaving China's strongest person, Jia Yi, at the command center to oversee the situation. Warning, warning, a rapidly growing life force has been detected. Warning, warning. The round hall resounded with a panicked voice. Jia Yi, who was originally standing there calmly like a rock, had a look of shock on his face. Display the location. Jia Yi ordered. The screen on the wall quickly zoomed in, focusing on a certain spot within a 500-meter radius. At the same time, a staff member's voice rang out. Commander, there are 2 Councilman Ranker's life auras here, and just now a life aura that wasn't that strong suddenly soared, surpassing all the other monster auras around Fogall. We can confirm it should be an Emperor-tier monster. In other words, in just 10 short seconds, a Lord-class monster transformed into a King-class monster. The staff member's voice trembled slightly. Your team has confirmed this conjecture? Jia Yi's expression changed. 90% sure, the staff member replied. Continue monitoring. After Jia Yi gave the order, he immediately controlled the tactical communications watch in his hand. Zhu Shi, old deng, Toba. Hurry to the coordinates I gave you. I'll be there immediately. China was not the only country that had this kind of detection device. This kind of detection device had been found in an ancient civilization ruin back then. Because there were many of them, all 5 countries had gotten their hands on them. Therefore, almost at the same time, everyone discovered the uniqueness of this place. After spending so much time without any results, the people of the various countries quickly gathered here. More than 2,000 meters underground, the originally turbulent underground river had now become frenzied. Boom, boom, boom. Just like the center of a 12th-level hurricane, the Earth Dragon King rolled and twisted its huge and powerful body in pain, causing the entire underground river to shake violently, creating waves that smashed against the surrounding rocks. The Earth Dragon King that had become 5 to 6 meters thick and over 100 meters long, every time it rolled and twisted, it caused the surrounding mountains to crumble and the earth to crack. Luo Feng, an ice emperor, floated in midair. The rocks fell, the wind blew, the waves crashed. To the 2-star traveler warriors, it was like a spring breeze. Nothing could get within a 1-meter radius of them. Luo Feng's spirit force easily blocked it. And around the Ice Emperor, a white cold air formed, forming a white barrier, protecting him well. Luo Feng, an Ice Emperor, looked down at the Earth Dragon King. So what if it transformed? Ice Emperor was a star traveler level 3 fighter. Even though Luo Feng was only a star traveler level 1 spirit reader, his consciousness was strong, and he had the spirit weapon Soaring Shuttle. His strength was no less than the Ice Emperor's. For the 2 of them to deal with the Earth Dragon King that had just become an Emperor-level monster, any one of them would be able to do it easily. At this time, to Luo Feng and Ice Emperor, killing the Earth Dragon King wasn't important. The important thing was they had to see clearly just what miraculous effects the white crystal had, just how strong it was. Rumble! A black light pierced through the rocks, with a speed that made Luo Feng and Ice Emperor's hearts tremble. It appeared above the underground river. It was the black-clothed Hong. Ed! Luo Feng flew over. Hong nodded, glancing at the distant Ice Emperor Mo Henderson. The arrogant Mo Henderson from before, under Hong's gaze, he couldn't help but bow. Right now on Earth, the only one who could converse with Hong was Thunder God. The difference between the others and Hong was too huge. Luo Feng, this is the Earth Dragon King. Hong looked at the Earth Dragon King that was about to finish its transformation. That's it. 20 seconds ago, it was still a middle-level Horde leader-level Earth Dragon. Luo Feng confirmed. Mo Henderson. Hong looked at the Ice Emperor. The Ice Emperor bowed. First Chairman, the truth is exactly as Luo Feng said. With just 1 crystal, it allowed a middle-level Horde leader level to jump to an Emperor-level monster. Hong creased his eyebrows, unable to believe it. One had to know, jumping from a high-level Horde leader to Emperor level, the difficulty wasn't any lower than a human advanced level war god jumping to the Star Traveler level. And the reason why the monster race had more Emperor-level monsters than the human Star Traveler-level warriors was because there were too many of them. It was because there were too many monsters. How few human fighters were there? With a large base, it resulted in more Emperor-level monsters. The more here was relative to the human Star Traveler-level warriors. To the entire monster race, the number of Emperor-level monsters was still pitifully small. And now, with just one crystal, it allowed a middle-level horde leader to jump to an Emperor-level warrior. This was equivalent to one crystal, allowing an intermediate-level war god to jump to a representative-level warrior. Was that possible? Any human war god on Earth had to reach the pinnacle of the advanced level war god level before their consciousness and other aspects became stronger, finally breaking through with great difficulty. Hong, you found a treasure, and you didn't call me. A voice resounded. A white-robed silhouette appeared in the air above the river. Greetings, Thunder God. Luo Feng bowed. Greetings, Second Chairman. The Ice Emperor also bowed. Luo Feng, you really are your head's lucky star. Thunder God smiled. It's a pity this Earth Dragon has evolved into an Earth Dragon King. Its life energy has suddenly become tens to hundreds of times stronger. The equipment has all been tested. The other countries will probably arrive soon. Just as he finished speaking, a silhouette broke through the mountain rocks and came over. After that, Xiao, Star Traveler silhouettes appeared in the air above the river. Earth Dragon King? There's actually an Earth Dragon King? Don't tell me the life energy that became so strong, is it? It evolved from a horde leader to an emperor level? Many representative warriors floated in the air above the river, looking down at the Earth Dragon King. The Earth Dragon King had already finished its evolution. Its large eyes were filled with fear as it looked at the humans above. With its intelligence, it had long known that humans that could fly were the true pinnacle warriors, able to fight against Emperor-level monsters, even though it had evolved into an Emperor level. But there were too many of them. Chi-Chi, the Earth Dragon King, fiercely dove into the river, trying to burrow deep into the ground. Still trying to escape? Hong waved his hand. The black domain immediately spread out, enveloping the Earth Dragon King within. Falling into Hong's heart palpitating black domain, the Earth Dragon King immediately struggled madly. However, it felt like its entire body was tied up by countless ropes. It couldn't break free at all, letting out low roars of pain. Break! Hong waved his hand. A black light shot through the Earth Dragon King's head. Hong. The head immediately exploded, brain matter splattering everywhere. Hong and Thunder God immediately carefully examined the Earth Dragon King's broken head. No problem. Hong creased his eyebrows, just like a normal evolution of the Earth Dragon King. Thunder God creased his eyebrows too. In the air above the underground river, many human warriors floated. The Earth Dragon King that had just evolved into an Emperor-level monster was just like that, like a lab rat, killed and dissected. America, China, the European Union, India, Russia, the HR Alliance. All the warriors couldn't help but tremble at Hong's simple act of killing the Earth Dragon King. They all knew Hong was powerful, but every time they saw him attack, it always made them feel powerless and helpless. Luo Feng, tell me again about the crystal from before. Explain it clearly. Hong turned and said, Yes, Head. Luo Feng carefully recalled, emphasizing, this is a white crystal. It was floating above the river before, as though it was incredibly light, strangely floating in mid-air. Moreover, the faint white halo of this white crystal even gave off a trace of light in this dark underground. And there was the smell of rice. Smell of rice? White crystal. Floating? Eating it and letting the monster evolve? Hong pondered. Thunder God was also pondering. Right, there was a horde leader-level monster that ate the white crystal. However, the moment it ate it, its body exploded and died. The white crystal was not damaged at all. Luo Feng added, Ate it, its body exploded? The eyes of Hong, God of Thunder, and even 3 of the councilman powerhouses lit up. Archaeological ruin number 5. A black representative couldn't help but exclaim, his body trembling. It's the Muya crystal. It's the Muya crystal. A Chinese representative also exclaimed. It's the Muya crystal. Hong and Thunder God looked at each other, their eyes filled with passion and madness. The cloud contact vine appeared on Earth. Even the universe's most precious Muya crystal appeared on Earth. Thunder God couldn't help but mumble. Muya crystal. Luo Feng, who was beside, was suspicious, repeating the name. Just what did the Muya crystal represent? Looking at Hong and Thunder God, these two were the pinnacle existences of Earth. At this moment, they couldn't hide the madness in their eyes. Even though he didn't know the use of the crystal, Luo Feng could guess. The Muya crystal was definitely much more valuable than the spirits of nature. In the vast universe, it could be considered a treasure. P.S. I've been busy all day today. Let's forgive everyone for today, and tomorrow, we'll be back to normal the day after tomorrow. Everyone take a guess. What does the Muya crystal do? Just a reminder, it's not as simple as it seems. Chapter 2:15. Muya crystal. Luo Feng and the other representatives were all curious. Just what exactly was this Muya crystal? Everyone looked towards Hong, Thunder God, and the others, but they were all smart people. From Hong's and Thunder God's reactions, they could guess. This Muya crystal was definitely a treasure. This is called a Muya crystal? A blonde, curly-haired representative from the European Union asked curiously. After eating this crystal, a horde leader monster can actually evolve into an emperor-level monster. If it eats more, won't it become even stronger? Don't tell me the emperor evolved from eating the Muya crystal? Silence. The Earth's warriors floating above the underground river were all silent. Hong and the others who knew of the Muya crystal's uniqueness couldn't help but look angrily at the blonde representative who spoke. The blonde, curly-haired representative purposely had a suspicious expression on his face. The five who knew of the Muya crystal's uniqueness all knew. The emperor evolved because of the Muya crystal. However, the few who knew the secret didn't want to say it, because the moment they did, it would cause chaos. Emperor, right? This lake doesn't have any environment to give birth to an emperor. It must be the Muya crystal. The emperor ate the Muya crystal. Just now, the Earth Dragon King also ate the Muya crystal. There must be quite a lot of them. There must be more Muya crystals at the bottom of this misty lake. Let's hurry and find them. All sorts of hushed discussions broke out. Quite a few of them secretly glanced at Hong, Thunder God, and the other representatives' reactions. Hurry, hurry, hurry. Let's go find the Muya crystal. Let's go. Be it in English or some other languages, these counselors immediately called out to their comrades or informed their side's command center. In an instant, a large number of representatives either followed the river or drilled through the rock stratum, beginning their crazy search. It was different from before. Before, none of them had a clear target. Now, their eyes were all gleaming, watching the representatives from the other powers leave one by one. Hong and Thunder God looked at each other. I dare say, that guy just said that on purpose. Thunder God said softly. No one is an idiot. Hong's expression was calm. Aren't you anxious? You need them more than I do. Thunder God's face revealed a smile. Hong, however, turned to look at the three behind him. Luo Feng, Allure, and Ice Mountain, ordering, there's definitely more Muya crystals in the Misty Islands underground. Quickly search as much as you can. Yes, master. Luo Feng and the other two complied. Go. Hong faintly nodded, after which he swiftly charged into the lake and tunneled deeper into the lake. Luo Feng released his spirit energy domain and swiftly advanced underground. Dojo Master, Thunder God, and the others who know the Muya crystal's effects did not say what it can do. Luo Feng's gaze was cold. It's exactly because you didn't say it. It proves one thing. This Muya crystal is indeed enough to make people go crazy. On Earth, to obtain treasures from the universe was an extremely rare opportunity. Luo Feng didn't dare relax at all. He quickly explored for about 25 minutes. Luo Feng. A voice resounded from the Tactical Communications Watch. Jia-e. Luo Feng replied. Congratulations, your dojo master just received a Muya crystal. But 7 or 8 people saw it. Jia-e said. Oh. Luo Feng was slightly shocked. Within half an hour, The second Muya crystal had been discovered, and the one who obtained it was Hong. After cutting off the transmission, Luo Feng concentrated even more on his exploration. The first was swallowed by a monster, the second was obtained by the head. This underground, there are indeed many Muya crystals. Just 16 minutes later, within the dark rock layer, the water from the underground seeped through the rock layer. A nauseating smell permeated the air. Luo Feng followed his usual practice and sniffed again. A star traveler's developed sense of smell made Luo Feng immediately detect that within the nauseating smell was a faint rice fragrance. That's it. Luo Feng, with his experience, immediately determined. It's over there. Luo Feng's eyes lit up. So, the black helmet on his head swiftly formed a sharp point. The soaring shuttle beneath his feet exerted force. Chi-Chi, the rock layer was even weaker than tofu. It was immediately torn apart. Luo Feng seemed to have transformed into an underground drilling machine, using a shocking speed to rush towards the direction of the rice fragrance. There was a series of roars mixed with curses like F***CK. HM. Luo Feng rushed straight into the huge underground cave that had already been blasted out by the Star Traveler warriors. The moment he entered, he was shocked to discover. Beside him, a South Asian fighter body had already been cut in two, sprawled on the rock. Even though his body had been cut in two, with his intestines leaking out, his upper body was still struggling, following which his head drooped down and stopped moving. A silhouette rushed over, kneeling beside him. Maha, you actually kill Maha? Representative Far. You've gone too far. The three Indians stared angrily at each other, facing the 4-star traveler warriors from the European Union. A war god, obediently hand over the Muya crystals. We can still spare his life. If he dares resist, he's looking for death. One of the 4 representatives from the European Union laughed coldly. The 4 of them were representatives, while the other side only had 2 representatives left. Luo Feng? Let's go. The 4 from the European Union saw Luo Feng arrive, turning and immediately drilling into the rock layer, swiftly leaving. Bastard. The Indian side gritted their teeth. They actually killed someone? Luo Feng looked at the corpse on the ground, following which he contacted the head through his tactical communications watch. Head, I'm Luo Feng. At my current location, the European Union just snatched a Muya crystal from the Indian side, at the same time killing a war god fighter from the Indian side. They finally killed someone. Hong's voice resounded through the tactical communications watch. Luo Feng. In that short period of time, the people from the various countries have clashed. This is the first time they've killed someone. You have to be careful from now on. This is a fight between countries, and even between dojos. It's undisguised and cruel. Understood, Luo Feng said softly, representing the various countries to fight for the Muya crystal. Even if they killed someone, who would judge? No one could judge. Luo Feng glanced at the corpse being collected. Without enough power, obtaining the treasure would be a disaster. After which, Luo Feng left. That night, 1056, the first Muya crystal was discovered, swallowed by an earth dragon, following which the transformed Earth Dragon King was killed by Hong. 1131, the second Muya crystal was discovered, acquired by Hong. 1147, the third Muya crystal was discovered, acquired by the European Union side. This was the first time there was a death. From then on, the originally restrained parties no longer held back. All of them became even more bloodthirsty. Late at night, at 012, the fourth Muya crystal was discovered in the hands of the Americans. This time, the battle between the Americans and the Russians had resulted in a total of 3 representatives from both sides being heavily injured. Amongst the 3 representatives, one of them had his internal organs ruptured. Fortunately, he had consumed the water of life in time, or else that representative would have fallen. From then on, the parties became even more frenzied. Late at night, 1:56, after a gap of almost 2 hours, the 5th and 6th Muya crystals were found at the same time. This time, Thunder God obtained them. Even though the other star travelers were extremely envious, they didn't dare fight for it. 6 Muya crystals had already been discovered, other than one being swallowed by the Earth Dragon. This time, the star travelers gathered around Misty Island had already acquired 5. Our luck is really good to get 2 Muya crystals in one go. Within the huge underground cave, over 10 star travelers were staring at Thunder God in the middle, his left hand holding the 2 glowing white crystals, making everyone's eyes green with envy. However, even Hong beside him didn't make a move. Which other representative would dare to? Head Hong, I'll make a move first. Thunder God smiled at Hong, who was rushing over. 2. Hong shook his head helplessly. Let's go. Continue searching for Muya crystals. Hong turned and left. The dojo of Limit's Beast and Luo Feng, who had just arrived, also immediately turned and continued searching. One of the 3 personal guards, the one with the strongest power amongst the 3, Beast, had just arrived an hour ago. I've already found 5. 1 for the Master, 1 for the European Union, 1 for the United States, and 2 for Thor. Luo Feng swiftly descended. In one breath, he reached a depth of about 4,000 m, swiftly searching at this depth. In terms of search area, me and the 4th representative Eastbourne are both star traveler spirit readers. Our search area is the largest. Both of us, however, haven't found a single Muya crystal. Luo Feng had just seen Thunder God acquire 2 Muya crystals. His heart itched, and he continued to search seriously. After about half an hour, Luo Feng sniffed and sniffed again. Right, the smell of rice. Luo Feng let out a look of glee, confirming the direction of the smell and swiftly approaching. Searching for Muya crystals was extremely fast. The moment he hesitated, others might get there first. Chi. After breaking a piece of rock, a hua-hua sound immediately carried over. It turns out that this place was an extremely thin underground stream mixed within the layer of rock. When Luo Feng broke through this layer of rock, a thick smell of rice instantly carried over. Luo Feng turned his head to look, and his pupils couldn't help but to shrink. My God! Luo Feng felt his heart stop beating, blood rushing to his head. Beside the thin underground stream, 3 white lights were bobbing up and down, floating, the thick smell of rice wafting over. 3 Muya crystals. Luo Feng didn't have time to be surprised. He immediately waved his hand. His formless spirit energy was like a huge formless hand, swiftly grabbing the 3 crystals 20 m away and retrieving them. Pung! A rumbling sound. In the distance, 3 silhouettes smashed through the rock. One of them was the Ice Emperor Mo Henderson, the other 2 representatives from the European Union. 3 Muya crystals. 3. The 3 barely saw the 3 Muya crystals. They had already landed in Luo Feng's hands. They're mine. Luo Feng's gaze was sharp like never before. Keep. Luo Feng immediately kept the Muya crystals into his Black God Set's vest. Unless he killed himself, he wouldn't be able to get the crystals. Luo Feng's cold gaze swept past the 2 from the European Union, looking again at the 3rd representative, Ice Emperor Mo Henderson, who had once become a target. Everyone, I'll make a move first. Luo Feng immediately became a black light, drilling into the rock. P.S. Updated. Tomorrow, tomatoes will have plenty of time. Tomorrow is Saturday. Tomatoes will make up for it 2 hours later. Also, those with monthly votes and recommendation votes, let's support them. The numbers don't look good. Chapter 2:16. He actually didn't chase me. That Mo Henderson probably has some reservations after being beaten up by me the last time. Luo Feng flew through the rock stratum, letting out a sigh of relief. He originally thought Mo Henderson and the other 2 would make a move, but they didn't stop him. Once he entered the rock stratum, the 3 couldn't stop him even if they wanted to. The 2 representatives from the European Union watched helplessly as Luo Feng slipped away. They couldn't help but feel anxious and angry. They couldn't help but look at Ice Emperor Mo Henderson beside them. One of them, a middle-aged man with brown curly hair, couldn't help but say, 3rd representative, that's a total of 3 Muya crystals. You're just going to watch Luo Feng take them away? 3. The other said anxiously. Ice Emperor looked coldly at the 2. He had long seen through their plans. He couldn't help but smile coldly. Bo and Ite, if the two of you want the Muya crystals, chase them yourselves. If you want to make use of me, and Mo Henderson, you must be dreaming. After saying that, Ice Emperor became a blur and entered the rock stratum, causing large amounts of rocks to tumble down. Only the two representatives from the European Union were left in the empty cave. Their bodies were covered in a fire barrier and a pale green barrier, holding up the surrounding rocks. That's weird. How did M.O. Henderson's temper change? The two representatives from the European Union looked at each other, dumbfounded. Seeing Luo Feng acquire 3 Muya crystals, they were naturally envious. However, Luo Feng was able to kill Li Yao before even stepping into the Star Traveler level. Now that he's stepped into the Star Traveler level, his power would definitely be much stronger, definitely not something the two of them could handle. It was only natural that they placed their hopes on M.O. Henderson to make a move. From their point of view, if the third representative were to act, there was still hope. When the two of them joined forces and took advantage of the chaos to acquire a Muya crystal, there was hope too. This Ice Emperor's temper wasn't this good in the past. His tyranny, who doesn't know? He is tyrannical. I thought he would act to stop us earlier, but who knew he didn't even do anything? Bo and I heard this Ice Emperor, when the first Muya crystal appeared, he exchanged blows with Luo Feng. The blonde, curly-haired white man said in a low voice. At that time, I thought it was fake news. Now, it seems that the news is most likely true, and the Ice Emperor may have been at a disadvantage against Luo Feng. Or in other words, he didn't have the advantage. Oh, the middle-aged man with curly brown hair was slightly taken aback. Unless the Ice Snow Emperor is fearful of him, how could he not care? Previously, for the sake of a single Muya crystal, the Ice Emperor had brought his men to fight against the Russians. This time there are 3. The blonde, curly-haired man's eyes lit up. That makes sense, right? Quickly spread the news of Luo Feng's 3 crystals. We can't let Luo Feng get too comfortable. These two representatives, including the Ice Emperor M.O. Henderson, all quickly spread the news. Luo Feng had acquired 3 Muya crystals. In the depths of the dark underground, the smell of decay filled the air. Luo Feng, a voice resounded from the tactical communications watch on his wrist. Luo Feng heard it and replied, "Head, you've acquired 3 Muya crystals?" The head's voice resounded from the tactical communications watch. Luo Feng was slightly shocked. The news spread really quickly. It hadn't even been a minute since he acquired the 3 crystals, and the head already knew. Many thoughts flashed through his mind. Luo Feng replied, "Yes, head. Very good. Stay where you are. I'll be right there." Hong said. After a while, rumble. A black light broke through the rocks and appeared beside Luo Feng. It was Hong dressed in black. "Head." Luo Feng bowed. "Luo Feng, your luck is indeed not bad." Hong couldn't help but laugh as he complimented. "You've acquired 3 Muya crystals, according to what we agreed before. 60% of them are yours. That's 1. 8 crystals. For now, we'll make it a round number. You've acquired 2. The other 1 belongs to the Dojo of Limits." "Yes, head." Luo Feng didn't hesitate, immediately handing over 1 crystal. Hong extended his hand, and the fragrant Muya crystal landed in his hand, swiftly keeping it. Rumble. 2 silhouettes appeared beside him. It was Hua Xiaojia, Yi, and Zhu, she who were attracted by the fragrant rice. Seeing Hong and Luo Feng beside them, Jia Yi's heart skipped a beat. He couldn't help but laugh. "Greetings, First Chairman. Looks like you've gained something again. Congratulations." "It's nothing much. It's just that Luo Feng just acquired 3 Muya crystals and gave them to me," Hong said. "Oh." Jia Yi looked at Luo Feng. "Then I really have to congratulate you." After which he turned and brought Zhu Shi, swiftly leaving. After watching the two leave, Hong turned to Luo Feng, smiling. "Luo Feng, these Muya crystals are very troublesome. If you meet anyone else, just tell them you've given them to me. They won't dare find trouble with you. Even though your current strength is not bad, if a few representatives were to team up against you, it would still be troublesome." Luo Feng nodded. "Indeed, The soaring shuttle could only attack one person. If a few representatives were to team up and attack him, with his weak body compared to the other representatives, it would indeed be dangerous. Let's continue. There seems to be a lot of Muya crystals hidden under this misty island. Hong let out a rare smile, turning and disappearing into the rocks. Just what are the Muya crystals' effects? Luo Feng watched as the head left, his heart filled with questions. However, the head and the others have been unwilling to say, so I can't ask too much. Forget it. I'll just work hard to collect more Muya crystals for now. There are only benefits and no downsides. After the last time when he acquired quite a few spirits of nature, Luo Feng understood the chances of acquiring treasures were extremely rare. Naturally, even though he was a star traveler, it was extremely difficult to acquire even a single spirit of nature. This time, he had to take the opportunity to get more. At 2:30 a.m., Luo Feng alone acquired 3 Muya crystals, which was humanity's 7th and 9th. After that, it seemed as though humanity's good luck had run out. A full 3 hours passed without a single harvest. At 6:08 in the morning, the Chinese side finally obtained their first Muya crystal, which was also the 10th Muya crystal discovered by the human martial artists. At 8:36 in the morning, India obtained the 11th Muya crystal. Almost at the same time, they discovered the 12th Muya crystal acquired by Hong. This was a battle that caused all the powers on Earth to go crazy over it. Very quickly, it was 5:31 p.m. of the second day. At this time, the excavation had already gone on for close to 20 hours. Humanity had discovered a total of 18 Muya crystals, other than one that was eaten by an emperor-level monster. The other 17 had all been acquired. Of course, the so-called 18 was public information. Some countries, powers, individuals discovered a Muya crystal by themselves, quietly keeping it in their pockets without anyone knowing. Hence, even though the public statistics were 18 discovered, 17 acquired. In reality, humanity's fighters had acquired more than 20 Muya crystals. At 5:31 p.m., the various powers on Earth finally welcomed their biggest harvest. A total of 8 Muya crystals. All of them had appeared. The first to discover these 8 crystals were Luo Feng and the HR Alliance's Eastbourne and a group of people. However, the smell of the 8 crystals was too strong. In just a few seconds, the number of star travelers fighting had risen to over 10. More than 10 star travelers were engaged in a chaotic battle on the surging and wide underground river 2,000 meters below the surface. Be careful of Luo Feng. Get out of the way. 2 representatives from America shouted anxiously. Ong! A terrifying spinning sound that seemed to tear space apart rang out. A golden light, like an invitation from the king of hell, fiercely bombarded the abdomen of a black representative. The SS grade battle suit on the surface of his body was directly drilled open. Then, the heart-palpitating golden light heavily bombarded the black god set, causing the black representative to fiercely slam into the rock wall at the side. The rock wall shook violently, and then a large number of cracks silently appeared on it. Then, countless gravel directly fell from the mountain wall, rolling down. Pooh! The black representative spat out fresh blood, his body sticking to the wall as he fell powerlessly. Water of life. As the black representative fell, he immediately threw a test tube into his mouth. Kacha! Immediately biting into the test tube, the water of life within was swiftly absorbed. Pooh! The black representative swiftly spat out the glass shards in his mouth, mixed with a few strands of blood. Get out of the way! Luo Feng roared softly, pointing at the distant warrior Eastbourne. Ong! The soaring shuttle that had transformed into a mountain drill instantly transformed into a streak of golden light and directly arrived in front of the 4th speaker, Eastbourne, as though it had teleported. Eastbourne also used his telekinesis power to control many hidden weapons to quickly block the attack. Only then did he manage to dodge the attack by a fluke. Well done. Beside, a tall and strong man with a head full of golden hair, like a lion, punched the star travelers one by one, letting out an excited roar. grabbing a white crystal. Wild beast, beautiful, Luo Feng shouted. Allure, careful, Ice Mountain shouted from the side. A silver-white light was sneaking towards the royal guard Allure. This was a chaotic battle. Within a short 10 seconds, the 8 Muya crystals produced a thick rice fragrance, attracting 18 star travelers. Luckily, Ice Mountain, Allure, and Wild Beast, the 3 royal guards, were together at the time. With their participation, they immediately helped Luo Feng. This gave the Dojo of Limits a certain amount of power in this battle, and they began to snatch the Muya crystals. That's crazy, 8 crystals appearing at once. Luo Feng was still in disbelief. This underground river, the first crystal appeared in the upper reaches of this river. It was carefully searched back then. Who would have thought 8 crystals would appear at once? Luo Feng himself realized these floating crystals could move on their own. Why isn't the head here yet? Allure shouted. The head will be here soon. Wild Beast roared. Get out of the way. Luo Feng fiercely roared. The familiar voice resounded once again. The representatives of the European Union, America, India, and the HR Alliance all felt bitter in their hearts after suddenly discovering the 8 crystals battle royale. Luo Feng's unique attack had truly become famous. That golden stream of light. His attack speed was extremely fast. Its power was extremely great. Even the 3rd representative, Ice Emperor, couldn't dodge it. Even the 4th representative, Eastbourne, who was also a star traveler spirit reader, couldn't completely dodge it. Strange, too strange. My spirit energy was just about to exert some external force on his golden light weapon. However, just as I was about to get close, it was ripped apart by that strange golden energy. Eastbourne was having a headache as he realized the golden light that the weapon contained was a very special energy. It had an extremely strong tearing force. Even his spirit energy would be ripped apart the moment it got close. Rumble! The surrounding space shook violently. A black silhouette appeared within the chaotic battle of the star travelers. Almost as though time had stopped, the black domain swiftly spread out, almost like a god's domain. In an instant, it covered a 100 m area, including Luo Feng and the other 12 star travelers were all caught up in it. What? Luo Feng felt as though he was a normal person with a few hundred kilograms of weight on his body. Even walking or raising his arms was extremely taxing, and there were countless water plants tangling around his arms and legs. Unable to move. Under Hong's domain, no one could resist at all. Everyone was silent. In the air above the raging river, everyone stopped fighting. Hong picked up the last Muya crystal that hadn't been taken yet. Walking towards Luo Feng and the others, Allure immediately reported. Reporting to the head, the 4 of us have a total of 3 Muya crystals. The main thing was that Luo Feng found it. He also played a major role in this battle, intimidating the 3rd and 4th representative. HM, Hong nodded, turning to look at Luo Feng. Luo Feng. Head, Luo Feng replied. Hong nodded. You did well. This time, the battle didn't last more than 30 seconds, and the Dojo of Limits was the biggest beneficiary, receiving 4 Muya crystals. America and the European Union each received 1 Muya crystal. The HR Alliance received 2, and India received none. Watching Hong lead Luo Feng and the others away, the other star travelers all began to discuss. For crystals, the Dojo of Limits really earned a lot this time. The main thing was still Luo Feng, holding back the 3rd and 4th representative. Luo Feng's attacks are terrifying. So powerful. If it wasn't for the water of life, at least 3 representatives would have died under his hands. Even the 3rd and 4th representatives couldn't do anything to Luo Feng. The other representatives discussed softly in the past, even though they valued Luo Feng, they didn't really care. However, this group of people didn't expect Luo Feng's strength to be on the same level as the 3rd and 4th representatives. They all immediately remembered, never provoke Luo Feng. They all believed. Earth's current strongest were Hong and Thunder God. This was the first tier. After that was Luo Feng, the 3rd, 4th, and 5th representatives. These 4 were the 2nd tier. and Jia Yi, Yin Hai, and a few other Star Traveler Level 2 fighters, as well as the Star Traveler Level 1 fighters with special techniques. There were more than 10 of them. They were the third tier. The remaining 40 or so Star Traveler Level 1 fighters, they were the fourth tier. Go! Hurry up and find the Muya crystals. The Indian representatives all shouted. Hurry, hurry, hurry. The Ice Emperor, too, shouted anxiously. Immediately, the group of Star Travelers swiftly flew away. This Muya crystal feast wasn't over yet. P.S. The first chapter has ended. The next chapter, the climax begins. Chapter 217. China time, January 8th, 2059, 11:36 at night. However, in the misty islands of the Australian continent, it was daytime. Pung! In a vast white lake, Luo foam broke through the water and floated in midair. It's been almost 3 days since I've seen the sun. Luo foam looked up at the blue sky and the flocks of flying beasts flying in the distance, looking down at the lake below. In these 3 days, the Muya crystals have probably all been searched. The first day found the most, the second day much less, and on the third day, we've only found 2. However, judging from the results, these 3 days were not bad. Firstly, his luck was good. He'd gotten 3 at once. Secondly, as a Star Traveler Spirit Reader Master, his search efficiency was already in the top 3 of everyone. Combining the two, Luo Feng had relied on his own strength to personally find 5 Muya crystals in these 3 days. If you were to include Ice Mountain, Allure, and the Royal Guards, there were even more. Luo Feng. The head's voice resounded from the Tactical Communications Watch. These 3 days, Luo Feng's Tactical Communications Watch had been in constant contact with the others. Head, Luo Feng replied. Come to my current location. Yes. Luo Feng used the Tactical Communications Watch to confirm the head's location. HM? It's actually about 2,000 m underground, one of the underground rivers. So, Luo Feng immediately descended, breaking through the surface of the lake and swiftly diving underground. 2,000 m underground, a section of the vast and turbulent underground river. The black-clothed Hong, the 3 royal guards wearing golden masks, Allure, Beast, and Ice Mountain, were all there. Even the other investigators of the Dojo of Limits were there. Pung! The ceiling split open. Luo Feng fell down, stepping on the surface of the lake and floating, swiftly flying over. Head! Luo Feng shouted. HM, we'll talk later. There's still people not here yet. Hong nodded, looking at Luo Feng with a look of satisfaction. From the Dojo of Limits side, Hong, as the world's strongest warrior, had the most rewards, followed by Luo Feng. Luo Feng's name had spread far and wide in the fight for the Muya crystals. Earth's Star Travelers were all clear. Luo Feng's current strength was enough to enter the second tier. He was on the same level as the 3rd, 4th, and 5th representatives. This kind of strength was indeed very scary. The 3 chairmen, the 3rd and 5th chairman, were both at the 3rd Star Traveler level, and the 4th chairman Eastbourne was a Star Traveler level 2 spirit reader. Under the Dojo of Limits, Hong was extremely happy to have a capable general like Luo Feng. Phew! Another figure flew over. It was one of the inspectors of the Dojo of Limits, Lu Ha. Dojo Master. Lu Ha respectfully bowed to the head and then flew towards Luo Feng and the others. He laughed as he scolded. Luo Feng, you've earned big this time. The other 4 inspectors do not earn as much as you do. Luck, luck, Luo Feng laughed. This time, the head only brought Luo Feng, Allure, and Ice Mountain. After that, he sent Beast over. The other 5 inspectors weren't sent over. However, as the news of the Muya crystal spread, the other 5 investigators of the Dojo of Limits knew that the Muya crystal was extremely precious, and also knew that over half of the Star Traveler level fighters were gathered at Misty Island Lake. Immediately, Lu Ha, Vladimir, and the others rushed over in their fighter jets. However, after missing the first wave of discovery, Lu Ha and the others did not have much. All right, everyone is here. Hong looked at the 3 royal guards and the 6 inspectors, immediately forming a barrier around them. This time, our dojo of limits rewards are not small. Hong revealed a rare smile. According to what I said before, after discovering the Muya crystal and successfully acquiring it, the person who discovered the crystal will get 30%. The person who fought and acquired the crystal will also get 30%. The last 40% will go to the dojo. Beast, you discovered and acquired one by yourself. That's 60%. You'll get 0. 6. You'll team up and fight 3 times. According to your contributions, you'll get 1. 2 crystals. Hence, you'll get 1. 8 Muya crystals. Hong said. Yes, head. Royal Guard Beast said respectfully. Allure, in total, you'll get 1. 6 Muya crystals. Ice Mountain, in total, you'll get 2. 2 Muya crystals. Luha, in total, you'll get 0. 3 Muya crystals. According to their contributions, everyone's reward were calculated. The last one is Luo Feng. He's also the one with the most rewards. He alone and personally acquired 4 Muya crystals. According to the 60%, that's 2. For crystals, team up and fighting 4 times. According to your contributions, you'll get 2. 1 crystals. So in total, you'll get 4. 5 crystals. After finishing, Hong began to distribute the crystals. Like Luo Feng, he first handed over the crystals, then received 4. Allure got 1. Ice Mountain got 2. For every Muya crystal, I can give you 20 stars. Hong said seriously, for example, Luo Feng, you have 4 Muya crystals on hand, and 0. 5 in your account. That means you have 10 stars in your account. Of course, you can use the crystals to exchange. Everyone else is the same. When we get back to the headquarters, you can exchange it for stars and buy items from me. Hong said. Hearing Hong's words, the 3 royal guards and the 6 inspectors all smiled. Luo Feng, you've earned big this time. 1 Muya crystal is worth 20 stars. You have 4. 5, that's 90 stars. That's enough to buy a prehistoric level auto jet. Luha laughed. I'm pitiful 0. 3, that's 6 stars. Compared to you. Luck, just luck. Luo Feng smiled humbly. In truth, he had acquired 5 Muya crystals alone, not 4. The search for Muya crystals this time, much of the information was made public, but there were still people who secretly acquired the crystals. No one else knew. Luo Feng had acquired 5 Muya crystals alone. 4 of them were discovered by others, only 1. No one else found it, hence Luo Feng naturally hid it. Actually, this was an unspoken rule. If he could avoid being discovered by everyone, he would hide it. Hong understood this logic. As the saying goes, when the water is too clear, there are no fish. Hong wouldn't be too ruthless. After all, for the person who acquired the Muya crystal to hand, over 40% was already ruthless enough. Right now, in this misty lake, there shouldn't be any Muya crystals left. Hong looked at the others. Our search ends here. Those who want to go back can go. Those who want to try their luck here can continue searching. Whoever finds it will keep it 100% for themselves. However, the entire area has been searched. Don't get your hopes up. Yes, head. Luo Feng and the others chatted for a while, then split up. Luha, who was late, was unwilling to give up and wanted to continue searching. Beast, on the other hand, was preparing to return to the headquarters. You guys go ahead, I'm not in a hurry. Luo Feng, you've earned big. Of course you're not in a hurry. We'll go search first. Luo Feng bid farewell to Lu Ha and the others, immediately diving into the ground, about 3,000 m below the lake, using his spiritual force to create a cave. Using the quantum computer. Hello. Luo Feng called Su Xion's number. As of now, Earth's communication system was indeed very advanced. Other than archaeological ruin number 9 and other special areas, even deep underground, even the magma layer, one could easily receive a signal. This was one of the biggest gains from the archaeological ruin. Luo Feng, you've only thought of calling me now. Speak, what are you doing? On the quantum computer screen, Su Xion was wrapped in a bathrobe, her hair dripping wet. I've been in the Australian continent for the past few days. Luo Feng laughed. Oh, I heard that the entire world's countries and the HR Alliance have all gone to the Australian continent. Right, what are you guys doing? My grandfather wants to get some information, but this information is SSS grade within the HR Alliance. Even my grandfather can't see it. Su Xian's face was filled with curiosity. We're fighting for a treasure called the Muya Crystal, Luo Feng said. Muya Crystal, what's it for? Su Xian asked curiously. I don't know either. I only know that this thing is priceless. If you really count it in terms of money, even a large passenger plane can't compare to a Muya Crystal. Luo Feng walked around the cave, speaking as he walked. What? That can't be right? Su Xian was shocked. Right. Your Su family's entire fortune added up can't even compare to a Muya Crystal. Luo Feng nodded. My God. Su Xian finally understood why even the head of the Su family didn't have the right to ask for information. Luo Feng didn't lie. Hong's price for one Muya Crystal was 20 stars. One portion of dragon blood was only 1 star. One portion of dragon blood was worth 80 billion. One could only imagine the price of the Muya Crystal. However, the Muya Crystal to every country was even more important than nuclear weapons. It couldn't be measured with money, and nobody would use it to exchange for money. It was something that transcended the entire world's economic system. And in terms of price, Hong's 20 stars was actually quite low. However, with over 10 Muya crystals appearing on Earth, Hong couldn't give too high a price. One Muya crystal is worth more than our entire family's fortune. Su Xian was shocked. Surprised? In this fight for the Muya crystal, over 20 war god fighters have died. 3 councilmen had died. If it weren't for the life elixir, I'm afraid over 10 representatives would have died. Luo Feng couldn't scare Su Xian, so he reported another shocking news. Representative, existences surpassing the war god level? 3 have fallen? Su Xian was shocked by this news. Luo Feng was deep in the underground cave, taking a stroll while looking at Su Xian's shocked expression on the quantum computer. Watching his girlfriend's expression was a very interesting thing. Luo Feng, who was walking in the cave, suddenly felt a pain in his leg. What's going on? Luo Feng's back and forehead immediately broke out in cold sweat, his entire body moving 10 m away. He was a Star Traveler spirit reader, wearing SS grade battle boots, with a black god set inside. With such protection, what kind of attack could hurt his leg? And he didn't even feel it at all. Just what is it? Luo Feng scanned with his spirit force. Within the range of his spirit force's scan, the place where Luo Feng's leg hurt earlier, there was an item stuck in a rock. This is... Luo Feng held his breath, walking over. Extending his hand, he picked up the blood-red shard stuck in the rock, holding in his hand. So heavy, just a palm-sized shard. According to Luo Feng's senses, it was at least a ton heavy. In terms of density, it already surpassed any material on Earth. One side of the blood-red shard had a sharp edge. This shard should be a shard from a battle blade. This blade has been stuck in the rock for who knows how many years, and he just stepped on it. His leg hurt. My leg! Luo Feng raised his right foot and looked. The bottom of this SS grade battle boot was completely cut open. There was a hole. It was like being cut tofu by an incomparably sharp blade. Holy! Luo Feng looked at the hole in the bottom of his foot, completely dumbfounded. This. Luo Feng stuttered. His face was completely red. This is a SS grade battle boot. What kind of concept is a SS grade battle boot? In other words, it can withstand the attacks of an Emperor-level monster. Only after being attacked over and over again by an Emperor-level monster will it be able to break open. For example, the mountain drilling hammer can only break open an SS grade battle boot with Luo Feng's 12 portions of spiritual force. Or else, with the mountain drilling hammer, even a war god can't break open an SS grade battle boot. My God, I didn't use any strength at all, just walking and stepping on it. It broke open my SS grade battle boot? Luo Feng held the blood-red shard in his hand. Just holding in his hand, Luo Feng felt an indescribable chill, almost as though that sharp blade could cut through anything. Just how sharp is it? Luo Feng took off his boot. His right hand held the shard. Shio! He easily waved the shard. Chi! 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 Just like cutting tofu, the SS grade battle boot was immediately cut into pieces, almost without any resistance. I didn't use much strength at all, probably about 10 tons of strength, and it easily cut through the SS grade material. If I used my full strength, cutting through the Monster Emperor's defense would be easy too. Thinking about this, Luo Feng's heart trembled. As though he had seen a ghost, he looked at the shard in his hand. This was a heavenly weapon, much stronger than the soaring shuttle by who knows how many times. Just the shard itself could cut through the SS-grade material like tofu. The weapon's power was too great. This weapon was probably strong enough to threaten a monster or a beast emperor. It could even threaten Hong and Thunder God. No, this weapon is too terrifying. I definitely can't reveal it for now. The moment it's revealed, I'm afraid no matter how much they value me, Hong and Thunder God wouldn't let me have this heavenly weapon. Luo Feng was very clear on this point. This was definitely Earth's strongest weapon. An unbelievable weapon. Just whose weapon is this? How did it break? Luo Feng carefully caressed the blood-red shard. He could faintly feel the ancient energy coming from it. It was an energy that had lain dormant for who knows how many years. P.S. The strongest weapon has been born, even though there were only 2 chapters today, adding up to close to 3. Brothers, let's vote for Tomato. Tomato needs everyone's votes now. Chapter 218. Caressing the blood-red shard. Luo Feng's heart was trembling, nervous. There was no way he wouldn't be nervous. It was like a beggar suddenly discovering an abandoned factory with 10 piles of gold, each pile as tall as 2 people. This kind of shock was a complete shock. With just a little bit of strength, he was able to cut through the SS grade boots. This was enough to make anyone on Earth go crazy. Ooh, calm down. This state of excitement lasted for a while, before Luo Feng gradually calmed down and began to think about it. It's very obvious, this is just a shard. I'm a spirit reader. I can use my spirit energy to control it and use it like a throwing knife to kill enemies. However, to Thunder God and Hong, this shard's attraction isn't as exaggerated as I thought it would be. After calming down, Luo Feng understood. Hong and Thunder God are fighters. Hong uses a spear, Thunder God uses a blade. And this shard, even if I gave it to them, they wouldn't be able to use it. Smelting a weapon? Such a strange material. Smelting it would be very, very difficult. Even though Luo Feng didn't really understand the blood-red shard in his hands, after a short period of contact, he understood that this was definitely a very, very terrifying shard. That kind of shard, how could it not withstand the extreme heat and low temperatures? Hong and Thunder God had a hard time attacking with the shard. This shard thing, only spirit readers could use their spirit energy to control and use it. No matter what, without 100% protection, this shard, it's best if I don't use it. Luo Feng immediately made his decision. From today onwards, this shard will be my personal treasure. I definitely won't take it out under normal circumstances. Unless I'm in a difficult situation, I'll take it out to kill. And the moment I attack, I have to kill the enemy. Within his heart, Luo Feng had already treated this shard as his strongest trump card. After all, even using the mountain drill with all his strength, it still required a bit of strength to break through the SS grade armor. Obviously, the shard's power was much stronger. Go! Luo Feng's thoughts moved. His spirit energy wrapped around the shard, simultaneously taking off his left and right boots. His left and right boots were wrapped up in midair by his spirit energy. Break! The blade shard, under the control of his spirit energy, became a blood-red beam of light. A very soft sound, the 2 SS grade boots. Under the blood-red beam of light's swift return, the boots were swiftly sliced. By the time Luo Feng stopped, the 2 boots had become a large amount of shards falling from mid-air. So powerful, and its flying speed is very fast too, obviously exceeding 10 times the speed of sound. Yet there's no sonic boom. Luo Feng took in a deep cold breath. Normally, war gods who use weapons that weigh a few hundred kilograms can slash at several times the speed of sound. And Luo Feng, a Star Traveler level 1 spirit reader, using his spirit energy to control a shard that weighed a ton, his speed was normal. However, logically speaking, he shouldn't be able to catch up to them in terms of speed. The ones he used were light blades and flying knives. But when he really tried it out, he discovered something strange. Even though the blade fragment traveled at 10 times the speed of sound, It didn't create any sonic boom. In front of the blade shard, even the air seemed to be sliced apart. The air resistance was very, very small. One must know that the faster the speed, the more shocking the air resistance. And the blade shard's shocking speed, the air resistance was very, very small. That was why even though it was heavier, its speed wasn't much slower than Luo Feng's flying knives. Even the air resistance is so small. If anyone had a blade like this, their speed would probably be many times faster. Luo Feng liked the blade shard even more. Luo Feng looked at the black battle uniform on his body. Black God set. The Black God set has always been famous for its shocking defense, extremely sturdy. I wonder if this blade shard can break through the Black God set. Luo Feng had this thought in his mind. He couldn't hold it back anymore. With a thought, his black palm swiftly expanded, extending to a length of 3 meters. The blood-red blade shard floated not too far away. Is the blade shard's attack stronger, or the Black God set's defense stronger? Luo Feng's eyes gleamed. Go! With a thought, the blood-red blade shard madly accelerated and became a blood-red beam of light. Due to its special refining method and structure, the air resistance produced by this blade fragment was shockingly low. His ears could barely hear the faint sound of the wind, and the blood-red ray of light had already cut the thumb of the big black palm. Almost like slicing through a tree's root, with large amounts of water plants wrapped around the blade shard. It was obviously very difficult. Under extreme difficulty, the blade shard finally sliced through, and the black thumb of the black palm flowed like water, swiftly connecting with the black palm, almost as though it wasn't damaged at all. It really broke through? My God! Luo Feng's heart was filled with excitement. He knew that the Black God set's defense definitely had its limits. It couldn't possibly be weakened by 90% against any attack. However, the Star Traveler Level 1 Spirit Reader, relying on this blade shard, actually managed to cut through the Black God set. Even though it was only for a moment, the Black God set immediately recovered. But Luo Feng remembered it clearly. Damn, that's vicious. However, this Black God set's defense is very strong. I can cut through the SS grade materials like tofu, but cutting through the Black God set is extremely difficult. No wonder my mountain drill couldn't break through the Black God set. Luo Feng was elated within. He understood that from today onwards in a life and death battle, if the 3rd, 4th, and 5th representative were to face him, they would definitely die. However, against Thunder God and Hong, Luo Feng didn't have much confidence. I found a Muya crystal underground, and now I've found the blade shard. Luo Feng thought, could there be other treasures like other blade shards? With that thought, Luo Feng first apologized to Su Xin, who had cut off communication before continuing his search. About 15,600 m underground, within the thick rock layers. Target locked on. Already acquired outer shell shard. Change signal. Begin receiving. Lines of peculiar ripples undetectable by the naked eye changed from deep underground in a straight line, passing through the rock layers, reaching Luo Feng, who was searching underground. These ripples undetectable by the naked eye, equipment, and spirit energy directly entered Luo Feng's consciousness. Luo Feng was slowly heading deeper underground. Luo Feng looked at his tactical communications watch. There was a call. Hello. Luo Feng answered. Luo Feng, it's me, Luha. How's your search going? Have you found any Muya crystals? Many representatives are searching, but not a single strand of hair has been found. Luha was unwilling to give up. I haven't found any Muya crystals either. This stuff relies on luck. Luo Feng laughed. I've discussed with the others. We're prepared to search for another 6 hours. If we still can't find it, we'll return. Luha said, when that time comes, we'll return together. All right. Luo Feng smiled, ending the call. I've searched for so long, but haven't found any other blade shards. Let's continue to search underground. After such a long period of time, with the changes in the world and the movement of the continents, etc., such a high-density weapon would probably have sunk deep underground. Luo Feng continued to head underground. At this time, he was already 9,000 m underground, 9,000 m. 10, m, 11 m, 12 m, deeper and deeper. Finally, 15 m. Target has arrived. Cabin door hidden close. In the depths of the earth, countless layers of rock had accumulated. However, at this moment, a thick piece of rock actually began to tremble and squirm. Then, with a whoosh like a bubble being blown open, that thick piece of rock actually directly turned into nothingness and disappeared. And in the place where the thick piece of rock was previously, a half-open cabin door covered in dust appeared. Luo Feng was aimlessly heading deeper underground. Only he had a feeling if there really were other blade shards, they should be underground. Head this way. Luo Feng was purely on a whim, randomly deciding on a route as he headed deeper underground. However, the strange thing was, even though Luo Feng had randomly decided on a route, he was still getting closer and closer to the ancient cabin door, getting closer and closer, until finally, rumble. Smashing through the shattered rocks, Luo Feng turned his head. Even though it was dark, with the vision of a star traveler, he could still clearly see that there was metal in the crevice. Luo Feng controlled his spiritual force and immediately pushed aside a large amount of rocks around him, creating a path that allowed two people to walk side by side. At the end of the path was a door made of a strange silver-white metal that was covered in dust. And this door, which was similar to the hatch of an auto jet, was currently half closed. What is this? Door? Luo Feng quivered. More than 10,000 meters underground, a dusty door appeared. Don't tell me this is an ancient ruin that has never been discovered on Earth before? Luo Feng was a bit excited. He knew that quite a few archaeological ruins have been discovered on Earth, and Hong and Thunder God have received the inheritance from the archaeological ruins. This may be one of the reasons why Hong and Thunder God are so much stronger than others. What door is this? Luo Feng's thoughts moved. Immediately, 18 blades flew out of the soaring shuttle. The 18 blades became blurry blades of light, using the blades to smash into the rocks around the cabin door. Chi. The rocks were smashed and immediately cracked open, piece by piece falling off, revealing the same silver-white metal. This ancient civilization ruin might be dangerous. Luo Feng was like a cautious monkey. He wanted to eat a peach, but he was worried that there might be traps around it, so he walked closer step by step until he was around 20 meters away. Observe it with your spirit power. 20 m away from the cabin door, Luo Feng carefully controlled his spirit energy to penetrate through the cabin door, observing what was inside. That is, Luo Feng was stunned for a moment, after which his eyes became bloodshot from excitement. P.S. Chapter 1.